Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to some Dota 2 action here in the South African VS Gaming Premier League. We have ourselves Goliath Gaming taking on Salt. Both of these two teams trying to get themselves into the second position in the group thus far, only trailing behind the ever-illuminate Sinister 5 at the very top of the group. But these two teams have been playing really well. Salt has improved in leaps and bounds from the team that they were in the previous portion of the competition, and GG have had to restructure in various ways, so thus far, the results don't look too terrible from their side, and we'll see if that particular trajectory continues for them. But let's get into it. GG, Salt, it is going to be a best of 3 between the two sides. Salt, also, my compatriot, my comrade, I'm sure you'll see his name right here, it says Halbert as a ZA. He was like a little bit late to the lobby. I think he's in a meeting right now, so he's going to be joining me for game 2. I'm not that far behind. It's gonna be not so bad, it's not so bad. He'll be here quite soon. So for the first game, I'll be solo casting like the old days. Like the old days, sniffles. I'm just kidding. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into it. GG playing themselves on at the Radiant side. We have Salt on the Dire. Salt have taken away the IO as well as the Nyx Assassin. GG take Enigma, they take Batrider, and what, Lina? Alright, I thought we were gonna take Nature's Prophet, but Salt might be the ones to remove that away. I actually wonder how they're going to run their configuration right now from GG. I haven't seen them play since ACG and Muzzy left, so I'm not entirely sure how they're going to run it. I mean, obviously RDK is going to be going into the safe lane, and most likely, whenever Goals plays for them, it is usually the case that he plays support. And Trax has been sort of tearing up the scene on his 4-position heroes, but they might choose to put him on the pos 3 for now. I just wonder who goes mid though, if it's going to be Mental or Sticklish. But either way, let's just see the draft unfold. GG open up with the Sand King first pick. Salt take away Ursa at the very end of the first phase of bans. It's kind of interesting, but perhaps they really are all in on getting an early lifestealer, which is usually the case whenever I see this Ursa being banned first phase. It's like you're all inning on trying to get the LS. We'll see though, if this actually is what pans out here. So first they lead off with the Witch Doctor. Witch Doctor. So we've got some Maledict going, the Paralyzing Cask. Primarily, the main reason I think you pick this hero is Maledict. Maledict is so good right now. So good right now.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Team pick.
They get the Sven actually. I mean, this is fine. Lots of control in the lane itself. One of the best heroes in the game right now, in my opinion. A ton of damage that's available for you. A nice good mix of physical and magical damage. You have the magic damage burst of the Maledict. You still have the physical damage of the Voodoo Ward, as well as Sven, you know, just being Sven. So I can actually deal with this. One of the things as well that this does do, Sven is not really that threatened by any kind of Sand King lane. For the most part, you're not going to have enough damage to kill Sven in the early game. So it does mean that GG might try to change tacks. Do what we saw Sinister 5 doing something similar, playing ultra greedy with the Sand King, effectively having him as a jungler. I doubt it's going to happen this game, but the possibility does exist. GG now will go in with the Winter Wyvern pick. WW. She now is present on the field. Can flit about up and down, icing people over. I suppose one of the big things about this hero is you want the big counter potential against the Sven. Just given how Sven is going to be playing with his team, this hero is always going to be susceptible to being caught with the Winter's Curse, BKB or no. And because of how much damage you tend to deal as Sven, in particular in the mid game, for the most part, you create a situation where catching somebody with Winter's Curse actually kills them. Not like it's just holding up the team fight until more support can come in.
seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
I'm actually kind of interested that Salt is the one that chose to ban away the Lifestealer at the very end of this. GG taking out OD, sort of signaling that they might want to have some Medusa style hero for the mid lane, something that can just ultra carry the game later, perhaps even Ember Spirit to try and play a higher tempo. I actually would prefer Ember Spirit now that I'm thinking about it. Something that can play extremely fast with the Sand King, can get a lot of damage done with Winter Wyvern as well. I'm also really proud of my South African brethren for continuing to ban the Lone Druid as much as humanly possible. Just give, I mean, come on guys, it's Lone Druid. Come on, it's Lone Druid. Like, if we haven't seen already what this hero can do to your lineup, and what this hero can proceed to do to your team overall, it makes no sense why you would leave this hero in the pool. So, getting rid of it is definitely the intelligent thing to do. And in so doing, they do open up a couple more options for their own mid lane. I think Salt could probably get away with grabbing the Ember Spirit themselves too. Something that plays with a particularly high tempo. I feel like whenever there's a Sven in the game, it's not really that important to try and like cater for the ultra late game with your mid lane picks. We've been seeing more and more the resurgence of hard 1-2 picks, and then having your 3 position hero being the kind of person that just create plays or just builds auras overall. Maybe they get like a DP here. I think they need some push potential, but actually they still need another support. Get like the Earth Spirit first and foremost. Counter initiation, a good way to catch Sand King inside the Sandstorm. Also a hero that can get onto the backlines quite easily in a fight. Now they get the Bounty Hunter. Okay. 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 I don't know. Well, yesterday I was talking trash about a bounty hunter, and that bounty proceeded to just absolutely demolish the entire game. Like, it took over everything and enabled them to play extremely well. But that was Japa bounty hunter, and I'm not entirely sure that we're gonna see that again now. You know, it's possible. We'll see. The important thing though is going to be seeing what other hero they get from the side of Salt in order to be accelerated with Bounty. Because this offlane Bounty I still do think needs a powerful mid laner. The last time we saw this paired up with a Viper. And Viper was the hero that made all the difference in that situation. So something like that. I could still see the Ember Spirit now actually. Even after the Troll Warlord being picked up. Sure, you're kind of afraid of being rooted and you can't do much after that. But you also have a really great time kiting the troll before he has BKB. And even after he has BKB, you're not really uber confident all the time as the Troll Warlord that you're not going to have to expend most of your BKB just getting to your targets, let alone dealing the necessary damage. So I don't know. Salt now, one final pick that they need to grab for themselves before the finals phase. This is going to be revealing where they want to put this Bounty Hunter. Like I said, I do most likely believe that they're going to be having this as a offlane bounty. And this is one of the few situations. Normally, the laning phase versus as a melee hero versus the Bounty Hunter is one of the most miserable things in the world. However, in this game, you are playing against a Troll Warlord. And Troll does have a few more options in the lane against you as Bounty. You're not necessarily just locked into this dichotomy of, oh crap, Bounty's showing up, we're all gonna freaking die. They're gonna take all my money away. You know, it's really chill. You can farm from range, you can actually deal damage to the Bounty. And provided you have some kind of lockdown, Troll does have the necessary slows to make sure Bounty does die at the end of the day. I like this pick though from Salt going for this Bloodseeker. So Bloodseeker is another hero that plays extremely fast and can coordinate quite well with the Bounty Hunter all across the map. Once Bounty shows up with the drums, This is a hero that obviously takes great advantage of movement speed. So having additional movement speed... Oops, my phone just fell and I hope it didn't crack. Okay, it didn't. Thank God. Oh. Oh. Oh.
Dire team ban.
Okay. Sorry, I got derailed by that because I might have actually cried. I actually would have, let me not even lie, I would have actually straight up cried if my phone was properly cracked right now. But it isn't, so it's all good. So Bloodseeker, you can play quite quickly. Like before the thirst starts to be a major mechanic in the game. When Bounty Hunter can make sure you accelerate fast enough that all you're doing is dealing damage to heroes, GG will go for the old faithful, the El Clasico RDK Morphling to round out the draft here at the end.
Radiant team ban.
I'm kind of weirded out by this last ban on the Wind Ranger. I'm not even sure where GG could fit this into the draft.
10 seconds remaining.
But, you know, it seems like they have some tech about this, so
5 seconds remaining.
just not choosing to entertain it whatsoever. I suppose most of their damage right now is almost entirely physical, so dealing with Wind Run would be a major problem.
Radiant
They still need to find ways to actually start fights on the side of Salt. That's my primary concern for them. GG can start fights with the Sand King, can start fights with Winter's Curse. But Salt are pretty much all reliant on Bounty Hunter and Bloodseeker ruining your game. Alright, so here's the last pick. GG should get a support hero. I kind of feel like Sand King is way better as an offlane hero than as a support. So just put him in the offlane, get another support hero that can interrupt the game for some of these other cores on the side of Salt. Maybe they themselves go for the Earth Spirit. I don't think it would be too terrible here. But I'm thinking more heroes like Grimstroke. I think Grimstroke would be really good here. Like, I can just imagine that Salt would be completely useless if Bloodseeker or Sven gets Soulbound, even the Bounty Hunter. Like, I feel like Soulbinder is one of the hard counters to track as a spell. Doesn't allow your whole team to take advantage of that mass movement speed. And I think the Phantom's Embrace in a game like this could be exceptionally useful. Sure, the Sven and the Bloodseeker are going to have high attack speed, but being able to shut down the Witch Doctor channel of the ultimate from afar, preventing Bounty Hunter from doing anything once he shows up out of Invis, and forcing Bloodseeker to have to sit and hit the freaking thing. What? Last pick Warlock. How is this even possible? Oh my god. How is this even possible? 5th pick Warlock against a team with 3 melee heroes? Alright. So this actually fits into why I wanted them to see, why I wanted to see the Grimstroke being picked up. Part of the rationale of the Soulbind as well was having the damage between 2 heroes. Especially when you have Morphling on the field with a shotgun, you can easily eliminate 2 heroes almost instantly off the map. In this situation, Warlock, Fatal Bonds, man. Oh god. Okay. And this is interesting, actually. They're putting this Bounty Hunter on the position 4. Always is going to play this one, while Never is going to go to the safe lane, obviously, with his Bloodseeker. I'm not so sure how I feel about this. In particular, this last pick, Necro. I'll be honest and say I think Necro's bad this patch. What is actually Necro's win rate overall in Dota at the moment? I actually wonder. Let me check. Yeah, I'm not really a fan of this Necrophos pick right now. I feel like games tend to go later and later nowadays, and there's no guarantee when you're playing with a hero like the Necrophos that you're actually going to be able to scale and be useful at the later stages of the game. Moreover, in this situation, it doesn't strike me all that much like the Reaper Scythe is the most useful spell in the world. And after the changes to the Heartstopper aura, man, I don't know about this. I don't know about this. We'll see. We'll see how it all pans out. The only question is who they're going to be putting. Okay, they are putting Sparkles mid, it looks like. He's been the one that's been pulled tangos, sitting with that mantle of intelligence. The one primary thing that's going to be beneficial is because he's going to be laning up against RDK on the Morphling. He doesn't really have to be afraid of being completely bullied out of the lane. As long as he has a single point into the Ghost Shroud, he should never die in this matchup. But RDK has higher damage than you, a better animation than you, better ways of harassing you than you have of harassing him. Albeit, Sparkles, depending on his level progression, will have overall better sustain in the lane itself. But I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know about this.
You are a true friend.
So much blood.
On the other hand, it does seem like Gold's actually going to be playing the 4 position here, so... Wait, is he playing 4 or 3? He doesn't have really support items. And of course, it's more important that Trax is going to be playing support on the other side, so... Just going to be regular times. Not a hero is going to try and steal the bounty rune. He will not succeed in doing so because he gets out-tricked by Trax. The man who won the last big Masters, he's out here, yo. Playing as hard as he can. Man, look how much harass he's put onto this lane. He's already forced Not a Hero into a position where he's had to eat 2 of his tangles already. Doesn't have a salve either sitting in his inventory. I mean, always does have a salve, but you don't really feel good about having to give it over this early on into the game. Not a Hero's completely out of regen. Tangles all consumed. And he didn't get anything out of it. Used all his tangles, had to expend some mana as well. But it's okay, because it looks like they're playing the Sven in the support capacity, which I hate, if I'm honest. But it's fine. It's fine. As much as I hate it, I do think it's probably better that Bounty Hunter is the one that's getting the farm in the lane. So, I'm not too opposed to this. I'm opposed to this, 100%, but I'm not too opposed to the Bounty Hunter being the one that's forward-facing in the lane itself. Towards mid, we do see that Sparkles, between him and RDK, they're going to draw even more or less. Because Sparkles can just do what he's doing now, position here, so that the moment that RDK comes forward with his really low attack range, you immediately pop the Q on him. And the Death Pulse will mean that RDK has to think twice about moving further forward in the lane itself. But it's not going to stop him from farming, and RDK is still going to end up out-farming you. This just means that you're going to get all your experience, and you're not going to fall behind too far on farm. Even though you will fall behind, it's not going to be that bad. And at top, we see the Winter Wyvern. So Mental is out here. No, is it Mental or Sticklish that's playing on this? Let me check. I think it's Sticklish. Yeah, Sticklish. Yeah, my bad. Mental's on the other side of the map. It looks like Mental's actually playing the Troll Warlord, so he is going to be transitioning to more of a core role in the GG lineup for a while. Oh, top lane is Gold's going to die. No, he's fine. It's only level 1 Maledict, so there's not enough magical damage to kill him. And he's just chilling. He's just hanging out, minding his business. At the same time, he's not really getting that much done here CS-wise. But he does still have a better regen, so they're not going to get zoned out of this. Unfortunately, it's not actually possible to zone a Bloodseeker in this with this kind of lane matchup. He hasn't even had to touch a single tango. I mean, of course, it is a Bloodseeker, you know, so that's somewhat expected, but nevertheless, he's playing well. He's doing well. Bloodseeker at top. And now they're going to try and get some damage out. Sticklish using the Arctic Burn. But he just wants to ensure that Golds can farm the lane itself using the Sandstorm without being countered. They know that there's not any available additional regen, or at least not an available Sentry Ward that they can pop out into the Sandstorm. So Golds will just do the the dance of his people, but it's chill. Nothing else will come of that. We see here, bottom side of the map, the Troll Warlord. Troll. He's having a good time. As it stands right now, 14 and 6. A lot of his money is going to get stolen away, of course, by this Bounty Hunter. But Trax is doing as much as he can to make sure that Bounty stays far back. And look what he keeps doing. Fatal Bonds immediately as he sees this Bounty show up. And then he goes in, throws out the Shadow Ward onto him to take away as much HP as possible. In the meantime, Mental on the troll, gets to right click the rest of the wave. They actually might kill not a hero. This might be the first blood. Nice Warcry activation there. And that shield block is actually all that's keeping Always alive right now. Needs to be really careful about this bounty. And meantime, Santa though ends up getting a kill at top. Goals comes a bit too far forward in the lane. They thought they were safe. I was mentioning just now that they know that there is no sentry ward, so he can sandstorm quite safely. But this time Santa catches him off guard, shows up with a new sentry, and they find the kill. Sand King goes down. Comes back to the lane, level 3, no additional regen. Bloodseeker is about to crack level 4. And this is actually a scary hero for this game. In particular, this silence is going to play a massive role going forward, because it's going to force both RDK as well as Mental to prioritize their BKBs earlier than they might otherwise want to. Because Lincoln Sphere obviously won't help you. Well, maybe RDK just goes for the Manta style, just tries to rush that as soon as possible. And man, oh my god, this is one of the most boring mid lanes. One of the things I've liked about this patch is that the mid lane has been a bit more exciting. This right here though, this is boring as hell. Morphling, Necro, no excitement there. We do have a coconut bouncing between two heroes. Oh, look at that bad luck. Are they gonna catch him with the silence? Nah, it's not gonna kill him though. I feel like if the coconut had been bouncing just initially between Goals as well as Ticklish, definitely Bloodseeker would have been there in time, with damage from the Blood Rage as well as being able to get off the right itself. But unfortunately, it bouncing to creeps does mean that there's no possibility of them getting that kill. And mid, just as I'm decrying the overall boredom of the state of affairs of this mid lane, RDK says, bro, let me show you. Appropriates the Necrophos's form, dives him underneath the tier 1 tower, and gets the kill. So RDK, man, now suddenly has the level advantage, definitely has the CS advantage, and increasingly has the net worth advantage. And man, I am really impressed by how they're handling this bounty. Making sure that they can get nothing done with this hero. It's not going to provide anything for this game. They're really regretting this pick right now. I'm 100% sure. Whenever you pick Bounty Hunter, but you apply no pressure to the lane that you're playing in, oh lol. And now, okay, I need to just focus mid then maybe. Because Sparkles just now solo kills RDK, you kidding me? Pops level 6, Reapers him, insta-kill from that. And okay, we do see that they will definitely be able to kill Sticklish. No way he survives through this. Gonna find himself getting blood righted. Never doesn't want to chase. Has 2 points in Thirst, but doesn't have his phase boost just yet. So does not feel comfortable going underneath the tier 1 tower. That's actually weird. I think 2 hits from the Bloodseeker with Blood Rage would have been enough to kill the Winter Wyvern. But they prioritize the life of the Bloodseeker, probably figuring to themselves, well, if he ends up dying, that's like the worst possible scenario for us. So we can't really afford that kind of death. So instead, we're just going to allow him to run away. We don't even get that much gold out of killing him. I must say though, them being able to get that kill onto the RDK Morph in the mid lane really does save their mid game overall. Because otherwise you'd be in the situation where the only person doing well is the Bloodseeker. Speaking of the Bloodseeker, throws out the coconut at top. Doesn't catch Goals in time, however. Goals goes forward. He does have a Maledict on him though. Cold Embrace will keep him alive for the time being. Splinter Blast will be there, chasing back Santa a little bit. And never turning his attention back towards Goals. Goals gonna get ran down with the Thirst. Wow, Santa, with that additional damage from afar, ensures that they get the kill. And the Sand King stuck around a little bit too long on Goals. Ends up getting punished quite harshly for that, as he will lose his life at the end of the day. And that's a really big deal, because not only does Never stay alive throughout all of that, he gets the kill finally that he wanted beforehand. And now he can start the progression towards either the Maelstrom or the Midas into Radiance. Is generally the build-up I've been seeing lately of these Bloodseekers. I wonder who's actually winning net worth-wise. I mean, look at Sparkles. Like I was going to say earlier before I got distracted by top, him getting that kill onto RDK saves the mid-game, because it ensures that now the only hero that needs to play catch-up on the side of Salt is going to be this Bounty Hunter in the offlane. And again, it's a Bounty Hunter. If there's any hero that's designed to be able to effectively play catch-up, it is this hero. Of course, there's still a long way to go. He right now is only level 4. Needs desperately to get to level 6. Troll is level 6. Jeez. Always has gotten nothing done. However, the one thing he has gotten done is because of the way this hero works. Sure, it might be the case that he hasn't managed to farm as fast as he would like to himself. But he still does have 2 points into the Janata. And we still do see that Mental doesn't have nearly the amount of net worth he would otherwise like to have on this hero. I mean, look at the CS shots, right? He's 42 CS, but, oh, okay, Always is gonna die. Shadow Word on top of him, gonna get chased down. Mental should find the last hit. They're gonna give it to Trax. That almost allows him to purchase up the full arcane boots. But nice heads up play from the bounty hunter there. Before Always goes down, he does finish buying the phase boots back at base. And now we pivot back to the top lane where we see Goals under the influence of Maledict will most likely tick out. Never really wants to chase down Sticklish. Sticklish does no longer have the Cold Embrace. But does not seem like the Bloodseeker wants to make that big a deal of it. He ports out. He just runs himself away as Warlock ports in. But now that Warlock has ported top, Always will finally feel like he can get some money out of Mental down at bottom. And there's only one stun available. Or there's no stuns available rather with the Troll Warlord by himself. So you are no longer afraid of dying. Gold does come bottom though. Pops Arcane Boots. But yeah, I think he's just here to Sandstorm soon. Collect these bounties. Move on to doing Sandstorm shenanigans. It is what it is. But it looks like, look how much they're prioritizing the protection of Mental. Like Goals even throws out a Sentry Ward, D-Wards Always as ward, and sticking nearby the vicinity just in case that Mental needs assistance. But they're not going to use this time frivolously. They are going to try to get some levels now onto this Winter Wyvern at top. Have him be the one to get this level 6 as soon as humanly possible. So while this is happening, the game is going to slow down a little bit because the only kill potential comes in from some of these stuns. Goals not in a position to make that happen. I must say, Sparkles, I've been pretty impressed by how he's been playing this lane. Been playing it very, very smartly. Has done some great movements inside the jungle with these stacks. Oh, at bottom. Look at this. As soon as they recognize that there is no more support for the Troll Warlord, they see Goals moving middle. They know that Winter Wyvern is top. They also know that Trax is in that area. And the Morphling, of course, is in the mid lane. They immediately rotate down with 4 heroes. They get the kill. That kill also puts the Bounty Hunter at level 6. So we will start now having track. I don't believe you want to defend this particular tier 1 tower if you're playing on the side of GG. You see this push coming in with the Sea Dragon Wave. I feel like never should put Blood Rage. Well, it doesn't really matter. They're going to get this tower no matter how it happens. I was going to say maybe put it onto not a hero so he can be the one hitting the tower because he still has the Warcry. So when the tower turns its attention towards him, he can be the one to soak up that damage, but it doesn't really matter. They're going to get this regardless. And there it goes. Erstwhile mid, look at where Always is. They get the track out onto RDK. I think they really want to try and potentially find this kill. He does still have the waveform to run himself forward. Levels up the adaptive strike while he's at it. So Always, his intervention in that area will be enough to dissuade them. If he spots this courier, he should ping out that, hey, there's people at middle. People at top. Oh, look at that. Trax. He sees his smoke being popped. He knows that someone is somewhere. Probably the bounty hunter. Uses the dust. Doesn't really catch out onto anything. And mid did seem like Santa as well as not a hero were intent on trying to gank onto RDK. But the rest of the team will just go onto the Bloodseeker. Never goes down.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
Sand King now. Burrow struck out onto the Witch Doctor. And Santa is just going to run himself forward. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Throws back a coconut. It is just going to bounce onto Trax. That's actually a pretty good look for him. Momentary second of additional stun. Doesn't really result in anything. And they're all just going to end up running themselves away. So it's not that big a deal. Nobody dies really. That's except for this Bloodseeker. But his death doesn't really accomplish anything for the side of GG. They had to rotate Goals down bottom. Use Epicenter. And not long after he respawns, he's already back at top. Keeping pace with the Morphling in terms of his overall form. And look at this build that Never's going for. He's going Yasha into Yules. Personally, I don't see this build that often. But I also don't see Bloodseeker that often, so it's fine. It's fine. It does mean that he will be able to trigger off the Blood Riot out onto the Morphling and or the Troll Warlord every single time, no matter what, without fail. And given that Mental wants to get the Diffusal Blade first, it seems, before he goes for Yasha or Manta style, and it's going to be quite some time before RDK actually has the full Lincoln Sphere. There are going to be some opportunities when this Yule Scepter is available for Never to try and affect plays across the map. The one concern I have about this though is they are really pigeonholing their draft into this mid game. I suppose that part of the rationale is like, look, if we pick the Sven hero and we're putting him on a pause 4, it doesn't really benefit us that much to try and go for the ultra late game, buying Radiances, buying all these Hand of Midas type items. You know, let's rather position ourselves for this mid game, fight when we're extremely strong, use Yasha, use Yule Scepter, take as many engagements as possible. And they are gonna perhaps try kill Track. Splinter Blast doesn't connect onto Sparkles. Adaptive Strike will, however. It goes into the Ghost Shroud, and here they come with the turnaround. There is gonna be a Blood Right laid out. Tony the Tiger, RDK finds himself with the Rupture on him. Sparkles might get attacked as well. Golds misses with the Epicenter combination. Sparkles activates the Invis rune to stay alive. There's gonna be a Fatal Bonds onto 3, and the huge Chaotic Offering. 4 heroes caught out. The Necrophos will go down almost immediately. Sven right now gets brought down by the Adaptive Strike combination from the Morphling. And RDK, he's right in front of the Bloodseeker too. He will lose his life, however. He got caught morphing in a bad position. Never able to run away and survive. Goals will keep alive thanks to the Cold Embrace. And Santa creating space for his team thanks to the usage of his ultimate. Now throws out the Paralyzing Cask onto Traxion. Maledict as well throws out onto the Witch Doctor or the Warlock. Warlock will probably lose his life as Never has come back into this fight from the backlines. He gets 1 kill. Will he be able to get more? He's surrounded by enemies right now, but look how fast he's moving. He's going to get support from not a hero who might be able to stun multiple heroes. He stuns onto the Troll Warlord. Cold Embrace from Sticklish to keep himself alive. Traxion, his Chaotic Offering. Golem still bouncing around. Mental just getting juked around. Beautiful route. Keeping this Bloodseeker in control for 1 second. There's going to be a Reaper side that does end up bringing down the Witch Doctor. Trax as well. His Chaotic Offering Golem finding itself getting stunned. Goals try to bring down the Bloodseeker, will not be able to do so. He tries to survive inside the Sandstorm, but there's perfect vision of him thanks to that Thirst being active. What a long, drawn-out engagement. Oh my god. But the side of Team Salt, they do not falter. Did they even lose Sparkles throughout all of that? Because let's think of all the important heroes that died for the side of GG, right? Because they end up, like 9 ends up surviving. Mental is still cool. He can go back home. He doesn't end up losing his life there. But they lose RDK. They lose goals. I think they lost goals twice. Okay, there's the recap eventually. Jesus Christ. But basically everybody died there. They're going to lose Mental now. He gets brought down at bottom. Santa shows up. They commit the Death Ward in tandem with using the track, of course. Man, this SA Dota has become exciting, guys. 11 to 8, 19 kills at the 17-minute mark. Completely even in the overall goal graph. If you said to most people, hey, who's going to win between Goliath Gaming or Team Salt? They'd be like, probably GG is going to wipe them. But this game, extremely even right now. 100% anybody's game. And Never, I really like the pivot in his item build. Choosing to go for the SNY into the Yule, rather than going Yasha Yules. SNY Butterfly into BKB. He recognizes he has to be the big fighter for his team. Where's the physical damage coming from if not from him? So this does make a lot more sense for him to make this particular pivot. And this comes at a time where Sparkles just finished off the mech. Mech with Hood. Hero is much more difficult to kill. Much more difficult to kill. Oh, you know it's not hard to kill? Goals. That's a track kill as well. Santa. Santa's actually on a pretty big streak before he died in that previous engagement. But he has 7 kills. Been involved in 10 kills this game for his team. Like, how do him and Sticklish have as much net worth as they do? We do see that Sticklish is gonna likely lose his life here. I know. There's too many heroes on the other side of this. They don't want to keep this fight going. Mental, though, does want to try and find Santa. There's going to be a Death Ward going out directly onto the Troll Warlord. Huge Chaotic Offering dropping down onto 2. They are going to lose not a hero for this one. And Mental will pick up the double kill. He's running forward, though. Him as well as RDK on the Morphling. Ghost Shroud activated by the Necrophos. He wants to try and perhaps turn around onto RDK. Huge Winter's Curse. But there's not enough damage just yet. But Ghost channels out the Epicenter with the Burrow Strike. The damage is there now. And here's RDK with the double kill on the Morphling. They take the fight in the mid lane. Team Salt, really ill-advised position for them to be in. They end up losing drastically. Not only do they lose one tower, because they activated the Chaotic Offering, the Golem is here to try push for more, but first they want to try and get another kill. First they want to secure the team wipe. And suddenly all 5 heroes on the side of Team Salt, from being behind the tier 1 tower, potentially making a move towards killing this Winter Wyvern, to suddenly finding that you have to defend a high ground push. And GG. They're not going to get more than a tier 3, if even that. I think they need to back right now. But man, they've made amazing strides in the last couple of minutes. And I have to say, a lot of weird decision making coming in there from the side of Team Salt. It all starts with Santa. No, actually, it all starts with them first trying to kill Sticklish, right? They realize that's not going to happen, but that's not that bad. That's okay. Mental, he decides he's going to run forward to try and get some kills. So first Santa gets caught out here on the Witch Doctor. And if Santa gets caught out, at that point you bail on him. You let that fight go. You're like, well, Witch Doctor, sorry buddy, you're dead and there's nothing we can do to help you. Instead, Santa tries to stand his ground with the Death Ward. He probably says to his team, guys, I actually caught him with the Maledict and I'm Death Warding him. Come on, try to help me. So they're not a hero. Him and Sparkles are like, well man, we can try and make this happen. They run forward to potentially take that fight. There's a Chaotic Offering that catches all of them. Suddenly never feels like he's obligated to show up just to throw in the blood right to try and get somebody else out of trouble. Does not end up going in his favor. And suddenly two towers lost. The third tower taking some not significant damage, but you know, you don't really want the enemy team to be knocking on your high ground at the pre-20 minute mark. And the important thing about all of that is that RDK got a lot of gold. He's now the undisputed net worth leader by about 1,000. And he is going to continue to accelerate here. He's actually going to have this E-Blade before the butterfly shows up. I think once he first sees the Eagle Song. Wait, is Morphling going to show on map that he has the Ghost Scepter? I don't think he will. But perhaps I think Bloodseeker should consider going for the BKB first. And then come back for the butterfly. Otherwise, it just feels really difficult for them to fight. Mid lane, Goals, jumps in, Burrow Strike onto another hero. Let him go! Let it go! Let it go! Oh my god. They're going to Death Ward now back onto Goals. Goals is going to end up losing his life for this on Winter's Curse. Does go onto another hero, but the Death Ward zoning them back still potentially. Never. He is coming in. Splinter Blast though does end up concluding the kill. Blood Right does get dropped down just to secure an escape route. So it is going to end up just being support for support. That's a trade that they'll be happy with on the side of Team Salt. Santa, now that he's cracked level 12, level 2 Death Ward. A lot of damage, man. And I was also wondering why his right clicks hurt so much. And then I keep forgetting that this hero has a plus 75 damage level 10 talent. How ridiculous is that? I do think the game is going to be substantially different now for a while. Because Sparkles has now picked up the full Guardian Greaves in tandem with his Hood of Defiance. But killing him is really difficult. Okay, killing always is not, so he's gonna die very easily. Yeah, this bounty just kind of been feeding this game. The pick has not worked out for them whatsoever. They've maybe gotten like 2 track kills, but I question if they wouldn't be able to get more if they have like a Brewmaster. Centaur even perhaps could have made a bit more of a difference. They did find themselves having Earthshaker banned against them. Nice one from Never. He ends up denying the tier 1 tower at bottom. RDK is like, really, bro? Steals the Bloodseeker form just so he can get the Rage. Additional damage for himself. But that kind of sucks, man. They're still trying to press this advantage, though. The one major drawback of their draft on the side of Team Salt is that they really lack many tools to push towers with. And we can see that the tier 1 tower middle is still available. They're pushing top now with not a hero. And one of them, okay, Golds, no, get back, guys. Golds finds the blink with the stun out onto Sparkles. Sparkles is still alive, however. Golds tracked up. The Maledict the top of him as well. Chaotic Offering catching out onto 2. Sparkles wants to maybe turn this one around. Beautiful channel of the big slow being channeled up by the Warlock from the far end of the fight. Necrophos gets brought down as well by Sparkles as Mental just dives onto him with the Troll Warlord. Not a hero activates his God Strength just for the additional HP boost, but it's not going to be enough to escape this fight. And this blender of damage that's available from GG allows them to take that fight conclusively. They lose 4 heroes there. A buyback from Not a Hero. He TP'd to try and help that fight out. But man, Sparkles, even with the Guardian Greaves, like I don't think did he even get the Greaves off? Like he turned around with the Reaper side, but the additional heal with the regenerate from the Greaves didn't do anything. Because of the fact that Mental does have the Diffusal Blade, basically child's play to slow anybody down and keep them locked down. And Trax, man, that upheaval channel, making sure that the retreat route is completely blocked. Yeah, there was a point in this game where it was looking much more even than it does now. But since then, it seems to have just more and more slid towards the advantage of Goliath Gaming. There's a scan that the Dire side connects onto, but no, they're gonna find Not a Hero. They're gonna lose this fan fairly early on. And Sticklish blinks away from the Bounty Hunter. Wait, what? Blinks away? He has a Blink Dagger already? Now they're gonna turn towards Santa. There's gonna Fatal Bonds onto several heroes. RDK secures the double kill. They wanna now try find Sparkles. He gets stunned by the stolen form from Not a Hero. That's also a dieback on this fence. Sparkles will definitely die here. Goals finds him with the Burrow Strike. There's gonna be a silence from the Bloodseeker. And they do at least get goals, but they immediately end up losing Sparkles, granting a triple kill towards the Morphling. As the Wavy Man will now have the full Butterfly. Never did end up taking the sagely advice of buying BKB. But good God, it feels too late right now. Mental attacking onto the tier 3 tower. Might not have BKB, but has Yasha Diffusal with an extremely overfarmed and overleveled team. One of the main things as well is that, again, they just can't start fights. Like, we just see how easy it is for the side of GG. Like, Gold doesn't even have to land multi-hero stuns. They understand that the only way their lineup works on the side of Team Salt is if all 5 heroes are alive, fighting together. But you just pick one of them off. Gold just blinks in, Burrow strikes one. As soon as one dies, suddenly they just have to retreat the rest of the team in their entirety from Team Salt. And with that retreat, means that they can't keep fighting. And then you see RDK says, well, I can waveform forward. We still have this Winter's Curse, because now Sticklish has a Blink Dagger as well, so we have a longer range of initiation. We still have Chaotic Offering, especially because Trax has been positioned so well this game. Look at this, RDK just gets the waveform, or the level 20 talent of the Morph Effects allies, just so he can take the Warlock's form. So now we can look forward to double Fatal Bonds! Yay! Look how easy this is! Like Sparkles, if Sparkles didn't have the full Guardian Greaves with the Hood of Defiance, he would have died there. Anybody else on his team would have gone brought down. And now we see here the Blink from Sticklish with the Winter's Curse. They really want to try find this Necrophos. There's going to be the Fatal Bonds as well that's been used up. Necro is still alive. Sparkles will stay up for now. Does get off the ultimate back onto RDK. RDK will still be quite healthy, however. And the rest of the team has just fallen apart around him for Salt. Never trying to fight back against Mental. Mental doesn't really care right now. But the main thing is they managed to claim the tier 3 tower and now they want the racks. Buyback there from Santa too. Does have the Death Ward. Perhaps wants to turn this. But without the Reaper Scythe, the ways to effectively threaten Morphling have drastically decreased. Trax is gonna die here perhaps. Oh no, maybe not. There's gonna be a 2-man Burrow Strike. Not a hero gets brought down immediately by RDK. RDK will work onto Santa next. Santa does go down. Double kill for the Morphling. They're now gonna turn their attention towards the Bloodseeker. Bloodseeker will die. Triple kill for RDK. Do they give this man the Ultra? They're gonna look towards Sparkles. Sparkles trying to stay alive for the time being, but it's not gonna last. There's gonna be the Ultra kill for Morphling. The Adaptive Strike seals the deal. And the Adaptive Strike makes the plan, creates the opening, they get the second laner Rex. Always, oh no, is he gonna be the altar, the sacrifice for the Rampage? RDK, can he catch the vision? Can you see the bounty? No, he doesn't have the vision. On the other side of the fight, we see that Never, he's trying to man up versus the rest of the side of GG, at least managing to bring down goals. Activates BKB to run himself away. We see RDK does get stunned up, allowing Never to at least TP back to safety. Okay, Bounty went and sacrificed his own life to ensure the survival of the hard carry Bloodseeker. But it doesn't seem like it's gonna matter. Bounty can buy back, but to what end? In this game, looks like it's gonna be a resounding victory for the side of Goliath Gaming. One last fight maybe, but it doesn't really matter. GG has been called. And GG, lol, are the ones that end up taking the victory. And man, that game, there were so many different parts of it where it seemed reasonable to expect that, okay, you know what, it actually doesn't look so bad, guys. You know, we can turn this around. It's fine. We can deal with this. Ends up ultimately not really being the case. And honestly, in my opinion, this all came down to the Bounty Hunter pick. I don't think the Bounty worked out at all. I think next game, they need to find a different hero. I mean, he ended the game 1-9-5. Like, 266 GPM on this hero. He provided them with nothing. This is a hero that has track, and he basically had the same amount of GPM as this Witch Doctor. So this game, not looking the best at the moment for the side of Salt. But nevertheless, GG. Great turnaround from them. There was a point where the game was a lot more even, but then things just pivoted. It was a very even game. Then there's one disastrous fight at middle. GG from that one claimed 2 towers and put some damage onto the tier 3. Suddenly at that point it's like, well, yeah, this game looks much more difficult for us to win than it otherwise would be. So ladies and gentlemen, that is game 1 in the books. GG, 1 game up. We'll see if they continue this trend and make it a 2-0 in game 2, or if Team Salt can turn this around and try to take the game directly to the side of Goliath Gaming. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, the stakes here. If GG does manage to secure this victory 2-0, they will end up overcoming Salt and taking 2nd place thus far in the VS Gaming Premier Division. But the results of that have yet to be slated, so we'll watch game number 2 to see if that happens. So don't go anywhere, we'll be right back. Game 2 here in the VS Gaming Premier League. We'll be back in just a moment. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to game number 2 here in the VS Gaming Premier League. We have ourselves Salt taking on the side of Goliath Gaming, who, for whatever reason, forgot to put on their flags, but it doesn't matter. We've seen it enough times. Ladies and gentlemen, game 1 went the way of Goliath. It was an even game for quite some time, but then, you know, a flip was switched and they just won the game immediately. Feels bad, man. So now we're in game 2, seeing whether or not Salt can force us to a game 3, or if this will be a quick 2-0 from the side of Goliath. And this time, not alone, Halberd, he's back. Made it on time. How are you feeling, fam? How you feel? That's the first and most important thing. How are you feeling? Are you excited about this Dota, man?
Actually, I have a bone to pick with both these sides. Here I get the invitation at 6 o'clock, that the game starts at 6 o'clock. I'm there past 6, desperately getting there. I need to find the game. The game has started without me, Snare. Give me 3 minutes. I have 3 minutes, guys. Anyways, yeah, so... I'm pretty interested in what's going on with GG in general at the moment, because they obviously have lost 2 of their players. Not quite in a straightforward fashion, one might add, but basically they first lost ACG, who left the side, and then was involved in some drama, or maybe dramas, you know what I mean. I'm not the right word, but let's leave it at that. And then they lost Muzzy, because he was all involved in a similar situation as well. So, although ACG had been gone for a little while before that happened, probably the replacement was already on the cards. They did just outright lose Muzzy as a surprise loss. I mean, he wouldn't have been planning what happened to him or with him. So how they respond to that is going to take a lot of character from the remaining players. And they're running with Bulls at the moment, who's, to be frank, a fantastic CS player and a reasonable pubby Dota player. But he's not the guy that they want to be heading into serious events with, if I'm perfectly honest. He's a great manager, a great CSGO player, but I seriously doubt that that's the man they want to be filling up the spot, as it were, right now. But that said, it seems like he's been doing fairly well as filling in for his side, so maybe he'll correct me and prove me wrong as time goes by.
Yeah, I did quite well in the previous game, so I don't see a reason why that necessarily needs to change. This game, it does depend on what the kind of heroes they get for him. The Sand King, I think, is one of the main reasons. To be fair, for a long time I've seen Ghost playing Sand King is one of the better heroes for him. This time around, they don't ban it out, although Salt do now have the opportunity to run the Nyx Assassin, which they did want to use in the previous game, but was banned against them. No, they banned the Nyx, actually, in game 1. So now they first pick Nyx, taking away options such as... You can't run Storms. You actually can't run most heroes, actually. I think Nyx is such a counter pick, man. Just in general. And previous game, they actually had this banned against them. The Lina, but now they pick it up. So they have Nyx Lina going up against the side of GG. GG with the Chen Luna opener. Oh my god. Oh my god, this is so stupid. I'm just imagining right now, right? Just think about this. So you have the double aura. The damage aura from the Luna in tandem with the healing aura from the Chen. Team fights are going to be such a schlep to take on the side of Salt.
Although it is quite interesting, because we see a lot of Chen. It is a very common hero at the moment. But not so much Luna. I don't think she's been picked up a huge amount lately. Actually, the last game that really stands out in my mind is the game where Puppy played as a support hero.
Yeah. I actually think it's better support than core. I hope they're playing this support. I think this is a garbage core hero, but as support, I think it has some utility. It can actually do quite well.
Are you just being unfair? I think Luna has she's situationally brilliant. She's one of the best kind of mid-game carries that like to be involved in pushing and team fighting. So if alongside the Chen, that still possibly could be the case.
Yeah, but then you know what happens whenever you pick core Luna, right? This is what happens. The game is going so well. You're like, man, everything is looking so amazing. I'm out here, I'm farming like a boss. I don't need to buy BKB, man. Let me finish Manta style first. And then you die, and then the game's over. Because if you die like once or twice on Luna, you can't do anything anymore. It's such a feels. Like my main issue with this hero is it just has no consistency. I don't like heroes in Dota that require you to be amazing in order just to succeed regularly. We'll see. Although this time, if it is going to be core Luna, it is going to be RDK Luna. So very accomplished on this hero. If there's someone that can make it work this patch, he probably could. And his supporting cost is extremely good. I think Chen Earthshaker as a supporting duo is phenomenal. If it could even be offlane Earthshaker, we don't know. What we do know definitely is no matter where Earthshaker is on the map, Chen can just bring him to you and say, oh guys, delivery for a fissure. Here you go. Enjoy life.
Snare, I just figured it out by the way. I believe it would be... It's inevitable that's going to be an RDK Luna. Ask me why.
Why?
Because RDK is playing as 20 the Tiger. Luna is on a Tiger.
Oh my
And
god.
he might also now actually end up playing Mirana.
I mean, this is the mounted
Because that
beast
is also
strat, right?
basically a Tiger.
They just have 3 mounted beasts, so he could even play the Chen.
Is the totem is Earthshaker, is Rhaegor the totem bearing mount? Like he's just the mount. The mount is actually the hero.
Yeah, the mount is actually the hero. That's actually what's happening right now.
5 seconds remain.
That's exactly what's going down at this particular moment in time. Oh lol. Okay. Let's look at the draft though, right? On the side of GG, I will be honest and say I'm not entirely fond of their entirety of their team fight, although they have a huge amount of magical damage. And if they just stick together as 5, I'm not really sure what Salt does about that. I think they need some way. Wait, Sand King is still available, right? I think they really need to actually just pick Sand King. Bite the bullet, pick a Sand King, pick a Tide Hunter, pick something with a massive AoE spell. Okay, it won't be Enigma because that's banned out. And Devon just hand out feels bad. But they need to definitely get some kind of hero which affects the grand scale of the team fight. Because as it stands right now, they do have some potential to pick off individual heroes, but they don't have a hero that GG will be afraid of fighting them into, provided the ultimate is available. And they just get the Sand King. Sand King, very easy way to cover that ground. Great hero to run in tandem with the Lina, as you provide her with an easy way to connect onto the LSA stuns. Not only that, but having the Sand King means that with the Epicenter, a huge amount of magical damage that comes out with the Witch Doctor. Once you have Blink Dagger as well, Nyx can hunt targets for you. You set up with the Blink Dagger stun, and Nyx follows up with the Vendetta hit into the Impale. Things can work out quite well.
So normally I'm going to blame bad internet for being kicked out of Dota for a moment, but actually this time around I'm actually going to blame me spamming on about mounts, and Dota was trying to tell me something.
Dota was like, "What are you doing, bro? Like, what's happening, bro?"
Yeah. Hey, what other mounts do we have left? What can we still have? A Chaos Knight? Abaddon?
CK, Abaddon. I think those are left, yeah.
Yeah, there's probably more.
One of those two.
Kotl?
Does Cuddle count as a mount? It's just like it's an ethereal horse.
He's on a pony.
It's like
He's an old man on a pony.
it's a Pegasus. I don't think that counts, man. He's basically riding a wave of light. I'm not sure that really counts.
I'm pretty sure that counts. I'm certain that counts.
You know what doesn't? Not I'm really glad about though, that I'm not going to be seeing in this game. Look at the bans from GG. I'm pretty sure they actually are running RDK they're going to run RDK on the Mirana, I think, and then they're going to put Mental on the Luna. But just look at the carry bans. They're just banning all heroes that are good against Luna. They're like Sven nope, TB nope, Jug nope, Mars nope. Like,
You
sorry.
can't ban every hero in the game if you try and get rid of things that are good against Luna.
One of the frustrations though is that one of the best picks left for them is like a Lifestealer, but Lifestealer has also shown to be somewhat susceptible to playing against Earthshaker, so that can complicate his life somewhat. But that being said, Lifestealer is also really good with Nyx and Sand King, and I think you also want a hero that can do well in his lane up against someone like the Chen, no matter even if Chen is trying to apply pressure to that lane. I actually would like Lifestealer, but I'm not sure Lifestealer, it doesn't feel right with the rest of their picks, right? But something just feels off right now about the Salt draft.
I'm okay with it for the most part, but I do feel it needs to be brought together quite heavily. The big thing at the moment is that, although I would say GG are very strong towards the mid game, they don't have super late game carries. Mirana is actually pretty good. Luna falls off a bit. Chen becomes a no count, so as a support hero, it's not great. That's not fair. That's not fair in your channel. Sorry.
You know they should pick. You know they should pick. They should pick Spectre here.
Just play for the super late game.
Yeah, I don't think. I think the Spectre destroys this entire team on the side of GG. Spectre just like Chen can't really play against Spectre. Luna really, I think it's probably of all the carry heroes that I can think of, I think Spectre is the best against Luna in one of those matchups. Mirana doesn't really do well against that hero. Oh man, I'm not as much a fan of Ember. I'm actually not really a fan of Ember at all. I suppose he does buy BKB in this game, and because of the amount of magic damage, his mobility in particular is why they pick this. You can get on top of the Chen, you can get on top of the Earthshaker. You can also make sure that the Chen creeps don't really have an influence in the fight. You root them in position or you burn them to death very quickly in the fight. But, I don't know. I think one of the things about Ember Spirit as well, where is their physical damage? No one's scared of just being gone on right now. If GG just buys BKBs on Luna and Mirana, what are they scared of?
I must say as well, I find this Ember underwhelming. It does kind of feel like maybe they picked it because they're comfortable on the Ember Spirit, or they have a good Ember Spirit player, but not that it is particularly good with their heroes, nor against their opponent's heroes. So, it does feel like a bit of a whatever pick. That said, a lot of stun, a lot of lockdown, a lot of control. I do think if they can get ahead of the laning phase, they could... I don't know, because then I think even if they get ahead of the laning phase, they don't particularly snowball out of control either. I mean, Ember can be a problem, but...
I guess the one thing that this does allow them to do, though, they can sort of try to rejig the matchups and perhaps put the Lina into the safe lane, put the Ember... it depends on what they actually... And like, this gives them options, right? They're going to wait until they see what RDK wants to play and then match up the Lina in whatever lane that is. I think this is one of those games where we're going to see Lina being built as a right-clicker, and then Ember Spirit just gets to go ham in the game, playing sort of a 4v1 style. They can play very quickly, right? The one thing that Ember Spirit does do, Ember Spirit has a massive tempo. So just given the way, I think the way to beat GG is with as much tempo as possible. And now that DK shows up, you know, DK is going to end up going mid. Worst mid lane ever for Lina and Ember Spirit. Neither of these heroes can force the DK out of the lane. So in that case, I'd rather put the hero that will be guaranteed to get more lost hits into the mid lane. So I'd lane Lina mid, put Ember Spirit into the safe lane. And it looks like that's what, yeah, Lina is being played by Sparkles. This is actually pretty good. So they are playing...
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like, I'm glad that the one thing I do like about DK is before this, I didn't really see a way for them to actually take objectives in the absence of winning massive fights. But now they can, right? Now they actually have a way. Just press R, the rest of the team groups up around you, and you have a game plan for how you want to win the game.
Yeah, because I was going to say, the win condition from GG Sound is fairly clear. You want to fight mid-game, you have some team fight, you want to apply pressure to towers, take map control, win game like that. But then I ask you, what is on earth are Salt trying to do here? Because I look at them and go like, you have a lot of pick-off, but what do you want to pick off? The Chen? Like, you know, that's not going to do a huge amount of... good. I mean, you even into fighting to team fights with a Chen, I feel like 4v5, if you've blown a couple of spells, as GG, you happen to fight into it. So,
I somewhat disagree. I actually feel like, depending on how the laning phase goes, if RDK doesn't get like a 20-minute BKB, I kind of feel like this hero, at that point, when like the level 12s are starting to come out for Lina and Ember Spirit, one of the reasons I actually don't like this hero being picked is because of how hard it is to just survive without getting insta-bursted. So I feel like the pickoffs can work out for them. They just have to, like, if the lanes go badly, the game is unwinnable. I see what you mean in the sense that, like, in an even situation where everyone gets the items that they ideally want to have, I also don't see how they get that win condition. But if they can apply pressure to RDK, like, this is a hero that starts, like, around the 20-minute mark, RDK is gonna have what, 1400 HP with 10 armor. Not that hard to kill. You can make it happen with these heroes.
Sorry, I just watched something very... That's problematic. Anyways, Barrow Strike comes in. I'll talk about this in a second as we see some players high-fiving each other. Coconut also going through. This could be first blood. Sparkle's going to try help out his friend, though. In fact, more than enough. First blood goes the way of Salt. But did you see what occurred there? I don't know if you were watching this there, but RDK tossed the balloon animal, balloon serpent, which he's now playing with his foes with, and actually perhaps a little bit too much. We'll take some unnecessary hits there for the sake of a balloon animal. He tossed it into the jungle in the bushes where the always Nick Assassin was hiding, and it bounced back out. So he effectively used it as a scouting mechanism to see if there was a player there.
Next level stress.
I mean, that seems pretty, like, shouldn't be part of the game kind of thing, you know? I mean, that's a bit broken. That's a bit broken, if you ask me.
No, I'm fine with
I mean,
it.
if somebody's waiting up a hill, you just toss a serpent at him, see if anything bounces back at you.
Hey man, if Dota isn't broken, is it really even Dota? Is the question you need to ask yourself. So I'm okay with this. It's fine. Everything's fine. There is one interesting thing though. Check this out. When was the last time you saw Nyx Assassin genuinely being played in the offlane position and not being a position 4 hero? I personally legit don't remember the last time I saw past 3 Nyx.
Well, let's share about why people don't do that for a moment, because I think that is important to go. The biggest issue is that when Nyx gets his level 6, he wants to be moving around the map and basically no longer be in that safe, on that off lane. So it does mean that once he gets it, you have a totally free farming Luna. The benefit is also, of course, that you have a high level on your Nyx sooner, but I'm not a fan for that reason myself. I think moving the Nyx around, having him his ability to just get in behind the mid, for example, is probably more beneficial. But even in this game, you look at him like it's a DK. What's he gonna do?
Yeah, DK just chilling, gonna be doing regular DK things. You know, Sparkle's also gonna be somewhat of a redux of game number 1 in terms of the matchup in this mid lane, where not really much is gonna happen. This time he's dealing with a DK rather than a Morphling, but I don't really expect anything to happen in this lane. Like, neither of them should be able to kill the other really at all. And also, one of the last thing to mention about this Nyx Assassin is that generally, I feel you get as much, if not more, out of this hero in the pos 4 than pos 3. You don't really gain that much more out of getting gold on this hero. Like, I suppose this game, the one thing that this does allow them to do, you can get the earlier Aghanim Scepter. So that's some high ground defense that's available for them.
Oh, sorry, bottom lane. That's a really nice route out from Nevin. They're going to get the Maledic as well onto Hippopotamus. Hippopotamus.
He's fine. Sticklish will. He'll live. He still has 6 stick charges, double tango. He'll be okay. He's not going to die from this one. Everything's fine. Although gold isn't... Oh, nice arrow. It actually hit onto Never.
It's decent harass, but unfortunately, as the fish had been used defensively moments for, they weren't ever really going to find a kill there.
I must say, though, I actually don't like this particular idea that they have of putting this Morana into the offlane. It kind of feels like the main issue. Also, I don't really like Morana right now in this patch. I haven't liked Morana in quite a long time. It doesn't feel like she provides you as much utility as a lot of other heroes do. For her to be effective, she really requires damage, right? You need to be building items or getting steroids for her to be extremely effective. Otherwise, she just feels like a Moonlight Shadow machine. And if it's all about the Moonlight Shadow, you know, there's better heroes to pick. Or you just put this hero in like a pos 5, better heroes to pick in the offlane. Like,
you mentioned the steroid. She gets the steroid from Luna to a degree. It's not quite as big as the likes of a Drow, but she does get the bonus attributes from the Luna. Gives her a little bit more punching power, as it were. She's got still has great stat gain.
That actually is true. That Luna does help a bit, and she is going to be playing with the Chen, so that does mean that she's not going to be as squishy as we normally expect Moranas to be. We'll see if that actually...
I'm okay with this. I feel like it's probably enough. Like, I don't think it always has to be a Drow. It doesn't have to be that super OP thing. You just need a little bit of a boost. Top lane, no, not here needs a little bit of a boost, because he's taking a lot of damage here. He's going to be able to walk it off, but doesn't have the regen. He's going to have to potentially go all the way back to base. I wouldn't mind seeing Sand King actually just disappear into the jungle for a bit.
Yeah, he was trying for a while just to try and interrupt the progression of the Chen. And whilst I think that definitely is a goal that is much wanted, given that Chen is going to try and create a situation where RDK gets uninterrupted free farm in the top lane, it's also, at some point, they're going to realize that they really do need initiation items. In the previous game, their primary reason for losing was the lack thereof. So they need to do something about that. Something else that we have to mention about this game is the high amount of mobility available for the side of GG. Being able to recall heroes across the map really does change things. Like, it's one thing dealing just with Moonlight Shadow, but once the Moonlight Shadow is activated, even if you do see the Moonlight going off, you will never know for certain where these heroes are going to show up at across the map, thanks to this recall from the Chen. So that's going to complicate things somewhat, but look at this. Look how much CS Never has at bottom. Goals is at 3 CS. Oh, they're actually playing offlane Earthshaker. Okay, this is fine. This earlier on, as we were talking, I was going to say that I would prefer if they maybe changed it around and then have Sticklish be the one to play the offlane on the Earthshaker. And it seems like that's indeed what they're doing. Okay, I have far fewer complaints, man. I'm chilled now.
I'm just horrified that we both didn't realize this. Okay, bottom lane, Sticklish isn't a bit of trouble. Can they finish him off? They don't actually have much in the tank right now. Unfortunately, they both got hit by the Enchant Totem, and they've both got hit by the Fisher. So I think Sticklish is going to be just fine. But maybe it won't be the same for Sand, who gets caught by an arrow. There's actually almost no way out of this for him, and that is in fact the end of his life.
One of the main issues that keeps happening...
Lazy catch, in my opinion. Probably should not run straight back against Morana.
I'm not even liking how they keep going for these initiations, because Never keeps being the one to activate the Searing Chains first. I feel like in order to be able to kill Sticklish with the hero combinations of Ember and the Witch Doctor, Santa needs to throw the Paralyzing Cask first, Maledict second, and then only do you activate the Slide of Fish Chains combination. They end up losing the Sand King at top as Trax, getting the chase down with the Chen. But this, look where the creep wave is though. I feel like this, as much as it sucks to lose the Sand King, they might be able to get the counter kill onto tracks right now. And they're almost,
Oh, they missed the impale. Oh, they could have waited out. This actually means he just TP's out.
why would you do that? Oh my god.
Something he'll never do again. Guaranteed now. Especially not a hero was there. He was always going to get that stun off. And
I see what you
had
mean.
he have connected and then the follow-up be there, I think that's a pretty safe kill. But in the end, not a hero. Has to watch his opponent TP away safely.
Yep.
Also, we're going to be granted, like, nice play by Trax. Just immediately he's out. Didn't waste a second. Goals, though, towards the mid lane. Looks like he's hunting for some Drogons.
Nope, he gets caught by the vision though. There's an observer ward there. Sparkles is like, come on, comrade, what are you doing? I know what's happening. This is actually going to put the Earthshaker at bottom in a bit of danger though. So Sticklish won't be able to collect farm from the lane. This does mean he's going to fall behind a little bit. Because Ember Spirit now is going to be free farming this next wave and a half. And this is good news for the side of Team Salt. They might try to actually go onto this Earthshaker. Why, guys? Okay, they just want the farm. This is actually really good.
Okay.
Look at this move, dude. Like, as soon as they realize that firstly Goals isn't here. Okay, you're going to lose Santa, though. Oh, no, they won't even lose him. That's actually a pretty big huge loss.
Yeah.
So they're going to lose 2 creep waves of farm that Earthshaker can't collect. They lost all the farm here from the camp as well. And Never is now safely tucked underneath his own tier 1 tower. So they can't even dive underneath him with the Morana being present for this kill. That move towards middle, it was a decent idea, but this observer ward changes a lot. I feel like this game, I'm not going to say it hinges on what just happened, but a lot can happen from that. They're going to kill Witch Doctor though. Feels bad, man.
I'm kind of surprised that Santa was going to take that on. Because at that range, you always are under threat from the Sticklish Fisher into the Gold's Arrow. So, you know, he walks slightly to the right there. He's totally fine. Maybe he was hoping he could get away with getting the paralyzing cast out, but not a great shooting. Never, though. He's keen to fight. He's doing a lot of damage to Goals. Actually, he's going to leap away, though. Should be the end of this engagement. He does have the Sleight of Fist up in a second. Can he actually make something of this? Also, a lot of one charges. Oh! It was almost good. He leaps straight into Santa, who manages to get off a decent paralyzing cast. Also gets into Sticklish. Sticklish still keen on this. Does he have enough left in the tank, though? Actually getting pretty low. Chasing after Never. If he gives him a big smash with that enchant tone, it actually might be enough. Santa still interested in this, but he actually may have overstayed his welcome here. Takes another dunk. He's going to fall down as well. Never. He's actually keen. He could potentially want to take this one. Who's going to scare off first? It's going to be both, actually, as they decide that it's time to back out. But yeah, I guess support for support is okay.
While that was happening though, they lose Luna on the top side of the map. Him and the Chen, both of them go down. RDK and Trax trying to make the aggressive plays. It doesn't actually end up paying off for them. And things don't look that great. I think at bottom as well, that move, at the end of the day, I feel like Never is probably happy with everything that happened. He's the only one that gets to sit in lane.
Going to catch on hero with the sentry ward.
I
RDK the Tiger. One piece of them, but looks like they've given up the chase very early. They're just like, listen, I'm gonna farm.
Yeah.
Chen, you go fire. Trax, this is your baby now. Not here able to walk away. But I think the more important thing is just that with the sentry ward down, they have fairly uninterrupted farm for RDK. They obviously double the value here because there's a Nyx on the map as well.
That TP from Santa, what a player! Sparkles was literally one shot away from being brought down. Santa shows up at the very last moment, throws out the paralyzing cast, stopping both mental as well as Goals from being able to apply any additional pressure.
Sorry, here Echo in bottom lane. Never trying to survive this one. He's using whatever fancy foot we can, but it's too easy. Particularly just to right click and claim the kill. Always goes in, gets off the impale. Not the double impale that he needed though. Will immediately pop the spike carapace. Backs off because he realizes if he gets caught in that combination, he's to top lane though. Oh, in fact, was it top lane? Yeah, we lost the Sand King as well. I saw Chen actually setting up for that one, so he just
Mid lane?
doing tracks things. Mid lane, they will catch out from Iron here. Mental taking a lot of damage, taking a Lagoon Blade. No way out. Don't care how much armor you have against that, you are dead 10 times out of 10.
Did you see that super sick move from Santa? Once again, he TPs in, waits until the DK is standing next to one solitary range creep, throws in the coconut, knows full well that because he's leveled this up to level 2, it's going to bounce around, creates more than enough space for Sparkles to come in, and they get that kill. And now, not only do they get that kill, they get it at the same time as the Siege Dragon was encroaching. So now they can counter the push, throw it in the opposite direction.
Mid lane, the catch out Sparkles with fighting arrow. Goals thinking about it, but absolutely no support there.
That arrow wasn't for him.
TPs into the lane. Can they make something of this? Goals actually has to be careful here. He can get pretty punished. Does a good job though. Gets off a double hit on the Starstorm. Sparkle's probably not too happy about it.
I kind of feel like he actually wanted to arrow the Siege Dragon, but unfortunately the Lina's positioning made that impossible. And she just blocks it off, tanks it with her body, and they get significant damage out onto the tier 1 tower. More so, like, they didn't lose their own tower in the mid lane, but that's acceptable. You know, you're playing against the DK who can endlessly push out your waves. So being able to draw even in terms of your overall creep, your creep of farming, as well as the pushing potential. In fact, Sparkle is actually well ahead in net worth. At the top of the charts right now, actually has the full Yule Scepter available. So this Lina is a massive threat across the map. They're going to buy Not a Hero as smoke. So I would not be surprised to see them moving this SK towards mid, smoke with the Lina, and they go try and find a kill. Simultaneously, the same move is going to happen on the other side, because Chen picks up a smoke at the same time as Stikilish grabs a Blink Dagger. So we are in for some plays here, Halberd. Things are going to happen across the map.
Well, I'm keen to see this.
Oh
I'm keen to see this.
Look at this
Shake
rune.
and make something happen. He's also 10 seconds off his Echo Slam now, a little bit of change, so...
Look at this patience, dude. He's waiting for the courier to arrive first. Gonna activate the Smoke of Deceit, then grab the haste rune. Here we go. Oh, even better. Activate Moonlight. Okay. Okay.
Activate everything.
Okay.
I'm going to make this count. He is my second favorite person in the world right now, because I want to see... Oh, and he's going to get a lot of vision from that. Yeah, he knows what's happening. There's Lina Sparkle singing. Does he go for it? Drogon, are you going to join me? He says. He goes in, he initiates. It's not perfect. Didn't commit the echo, so wasn't able to keep him down for long enough for the DK to come in. But this does create mass TP mania. They're all coming in now, boys. They want something out of this, and it better make something happen, because if they get nothing after TPing in 4 heroes to get 1 support, that is...
I believe
embarrassing, actually.
the technical term is feels bad, man. And while the,
Yeah. And you know what they get for their troubles? Well, Trax and Sticklish take a top tower. But they do get engagement onto Mental in the mid lane. Now they commit quite a bit to, of course, Chen going to try and help him out. Not a hero won't have the Burrow Strike available in time to challenge further. So he decides to back off. But then that does cost him the ulti from Santa. No real chance for him to...
oh no, they get Sparkles. Oh my god. That can't happen. That cannot happen. Sparkles is going to be absolutely required for them to open up space in this game. They might get Never at bottom, but now they didn't catch him with the Blink Enchant Totem.
Yeah, always tries to make something of this, but I don't think he's got the jukes just to be able to, Goals held up nicely. Oh! On the backline, Never. Does he want this? Could potentially want and go for the Remnant play, but... Oh, that is... Less than 20 HP.
He kind of he kind of played that a bit badly on the side of Never. He had the Searing Chains available, but he didn't have enough mana with the Magic Wand. He wanted to just slice, just to try and harass them back. But then after he slides, he realizes how low health they are, and he's like, man, if I could have used the Searing Chains, I could have actually killed them. But then, only can Magic Wand after the first Light of Fist, that doesn't really help anymore.
Oh, hold on. Always. Does he go the right way? Yes, he does. So dodges the arrow.
Yes.
More importantly, stops the smoke gang. So that's 2 smoke gangs that have gone fairly awry.
But at the same time, though,
And-
during that time period, look how much farm they got on the side of GG. Like, Mental have just finished his off.
Nope.
Yeah, mid lane, that's it.
They actually want to go back in here. They catch out Santa. Going to turn around with paralyzing cast, but under the Moonlight Shadow, they'll be able to potentially finish off the kill. Santa very, very low. Goals really wants him. Can he finish the job? Yes, he can with 1 last hit. Sparkles not able to find anything. They don't have any reveal, so it makes us particularly hard to finish. Always has to be a little bit careful. They have dropped this normal Observer Ward, so he's still safe for the time being. Arrow flies through. Does he see? Yes, he does. The sneaky under the creep arrow, but Sparkle sees it in time, managed to go out the way. They should be able to get quite a few runes from this. He's not a hero, actually collecting 2 on the top lane, and bottom lane Trax should finish off the others.
One of the reasons why I'm not really sold on the concept of a core Luna in this game of Dota right now is, consider this Luna. She has 6.7k overall net worth, just cracked level 12, got 1200 HP, and Ember Spirit, Never was fighting her a little bit right now at bottom. If Never has full mana, he can actually 100-0 this Luna, and there's nothing she can do about it. Unfortunately, he does not have full mana, so he didn't try to make this move, and now she has support, so he can't make this move. But 1v1, this Ember Spirit, who's 2k gold behind her, can still solo kill her if he wishes. And that's not really going to change until she gets more items under her belt. Right now, at the very least, she does finish off the full Dragon Lance, and this makes a huge difference to this hero. Tanks her up, gives her armor, gives her damage, more importantly, gives her some range, so she's not nearly as vulnerable to being attacked as she might otherwise be.
And does give you a lot to work with. It's one of those ideal items for the Luna. Probably going for the Mansell next. So the Yasha is already built up. Looks like they're going to try and apply pressure to this bottom lane. They can really push very hard. One of the most challenging things about Luna as well is when she does get on top of you, those glaives really do add up very quickly. We're going to see some TPs coming in from the back around here. Actually pick up the Sand King. Where were you? What were you doing there?
They're going to keep pushing. They're going to keep pushing.
Yeah, no, they can go up the high ground. This is exactly what I was saying. This is one of the massive strengths of Luna. I spoke about how strong she is during the mid game. Right now, she does have a bit of an item advantage. Gets on top of your towers, it becomes very difficult to defend, especially for supports. They are going to find this kill in the Earthshaker, though. All these people dying in strange places. You'd expect everyone to be just gathered up around, but Earthshaker was pretty far away and gets picked off. So that push is probably over. You don't really want to go into that without your Earthshaker. Mental, though, will be happy to move to the mid lane and potentially get off a little bit of extra farm. Darcy's going to get any damage onto the tower, though.
I just remembered that this is a 3 position Nyx Assassin, and we're seeing exactly why I hate this hero in the 3 position. Since leaving the lane, what value has this Nyx Assassin actually contributed to the game? Whereas if he was playing Sand King, at the very least you can sit in one place, keep farming, and buy an item which will absolutely have an impact in the game.
Scary. Sorry, DK, they spot him out, they miss with the Barrow Strike, they miss with everything, but Sticklish misses nothing. Not a hero is okay for time being under that Sandstorm, but they're gonna find him eventually, finally drop it down, and they're gonna bring him down as well.
Ooh, always almost died there.
Arrow connects as well to target. It sparkles. DK does have the Dragon Tail available as well, so they're gonna stun him up. Now comes in the Earthshaker. Comes, okay, bye.
Wow, okay.
Woo!
That penitence.
Half HP.
Woo, that penitence. My god. Wow, okay. That was crazy. The amount of damage he took so quickly there. Now they're gonna be immediately going out onto the high ground. All 5 heroes are here. They didn't try to take the push down at bottom, but this is a Luna with level 3 Luna Blessing. Everybody's got the increased damage. We've got the Chen here providing the heals with the Divine Favor. And here they go. Tier 3 tower definitely gonna fall now.
DK also goes off again. They are going to go in with not a hero. He's got the epicenter channel. Didn't manage to get off before the arrow connected. So the defense is potentially here. Never tries. Go. The Echo comes down and blows up the side of... Oh, the side of what was once a side of Salt, as GG still storm up the high ground here. They did buy it back. They're going to go back in with the Barrow Strike. Only connects onto one. They're going to stun out all boys. He still has a spike arrow, but wasn't able to get it off though. Now Sparkles drops the Light Strike Array. Will try to control his DK for a little bit longer. They don't want to lose these rags this early on. Be perfect, but they've committed so many buybacks. They need more out of it. Never needs to catch them. He does now finally have the opportunity thanks to that Heal Scepter. In comes the Barrow Strike again. Not a hero. Dancing around will find a big important kill, but they probably needed more than that. With the amount of buybacks had, losing their tier 3 tower, it's not enough. It's not enough.
You buy back on 3 different heroes. Sure, they're all support heroes because, you know, I'm no longer counting always as being a core hero in this game. But nevertheless, you know, it's not often that I see 3 buybacks being on cooldown at the 20-minute mark. They only lost a single hero. Only goals actually end up brought down in that entire situation. The rest of the team, and the DK as well, they couldn't really save Mental there. But the rest of the team pretty happy with that engagement, especially RDK. Just before that fight, when they were pushing bottom a mere 3 minutes ago, I want you to think about this, but 16 minutes in is when they were pushing onto the tier 2 tower. And at that point he just picked up a Dragon Lance. Now we're 20 minutes in, Yasha with Dragon Lance. They're probably gonna get Sparkles at mid as well. Yeah, he's dead.
Yeah, he's very dead. And they're going to probably get more. The Santa does get off beautiful Maledict, but there's no damage to follow up. Gold says, I'll give you some damage instead. Leaping after him, finds a kill. Not a hero. Tries to get out of harm's way. There is a very quick Luna. Also, as the Master Man could potentially charge off it, decides he wants something else. And something else he wants is Rax. And DK, I mean, LT, back up. And he's got the Relic as well. He's looking pretty tanky, pretty strong. Life's pretty good if you're a GG player right now. Goliath on the hill, and this is what I was talking about. Look at those glaives. Trying to defend here is a nightmare.
Yep, it can't be done. This is one of the reasons why I was saying that they definitely needed to win the laning phase, because now it's too late. Now we're at the stage of the game where, because they didn't get a good start on the Sand King, and because of how disastrously things went for the Nyx can't really stop lineups that group up as 5 and try to push and engage in this manner. Maybe they get DK?
Coming up big onto mental here. They get the strike into the epic going, but DK is still alive and still fighting back. He gets rooted up from that Ember Spirit as they try to bring down one. Not a hero. Once again, just bouncing around in that sandstorm, finds the kill they need. But the Echo comes in. It's beautiful. Hits 2. And now there's just not a hero left to try and defend against this. And there's a couple up. Santa though says, actually, Halberd, you've forgotten about me. Gets off a pretty decent ultimate as well. We'll finish off one. And now the aid came in from not a hero that got the stun off on Sticklish. Can they find more here? He's going to be able to blink in 2 seconds. Can they find the kill? No, in fact, they're going to get turned around here. Goals drops to the Starstorm as well. They're going to get the Paralyzing Cast up as well, but arrived with the Creep Wave. So a couple of hits lost there. They will bring down the Earthshaker. Goals, though, still staying, still fighting. He walks straight back in the Sandstorm. Not a hero. 2 seconds to got that Burrow Strike. We'll use it now. They're going to try to bring down this Goals. Mirana will manage to do so. They defend their bottom rack, but once again, the cost is so high. They're still sitting here at a 12k deficit, but I want to say at least it's something, but because they lose their racks, they're actually further behind than they were, even though they actually kill 5 heroes.
Yeah, they get 5 heroes. It would have been, had they managed to somehow hold on to this mid lane of racks, that would have been miraculous, given how much gold they got onto their 2 supports. 2,000 gold for Not a Hero, another 1,000 gold for Santa. But at the end of the day, sure, you drive back everybody else, but the heroes that you need to win this game, chiefly the Sparkles Lina as well as the Never Ember Spirit, both of those heroes get brought down in situations where you were like seconds away from being able to win that fight, with those heroes still being able to maintain their lives. Now though...
Oh, sorry, top lane, they're going to catch out Never here. Can they finish the job in time? Nice. Looks like we'll back at the cross kill going the other way. It's going to be Chen that falls down instead, and Ember Spirit manages to Ember away.
He was smart enough to know, like, he had a relic down, or had a remnant down, and was prepared immediately to get back as soon as he could. Mid, ooh, Sparkles, nice sidesteps. Actually managed to survive. I thought they were going to catch him with that fissure into arrow, but does manage to juke it out, you know, tiptoeing on his Jowdens, and he's fine.
Yeah, Sticklish actually tried to block him off then to his side of the ramp because there's no blink or anything available to Sparkles. It looks like in fact he is going for the Shadow Blade. He's just finished it up, but at the time didn't have it available to him. So if he was on the other side of the room, he was pretty much certainly dead. But fortunately for him, he actually popped out on the correct side of the fissure, so it was that close.
The scariest item in the game is coming soon here, Halberd. BKB for RDK is gonna be available in about maybe 90 seconds. This honestly is, they need to try and kill him as soon as the BKB comes out. They're at least gonna get goals. That's a nice pickup. That's a nice pickup. And also the bright side is they kill him without having to use the Spirit Vessel. So they still have 2 charges available. They could potentially, okay, one of the sucky things about their draft is because they built Sparkles into this Eul Scepter build. Instead, like, they changed now for the Shadow Blade, so there's more attack speed. But if they'd gone in for a pure attack speed build, you might have been able to sneak Roche. Right now, you can't, though. Right now, you just have to rely on pure pick-off.
They are doing it well, though. That's where I want to go with this, is that you need to kill heroes so that they cannot kill your structures right now. Because they do get on top of you once again. Luna will break your barracks without even focusing them. It'll just be peripheral damage that you can actually bring them down. So you have to be very careful. It looks like they might find something else. Not a hero. Snatches the Invisor away from Hippopotamus, but he does have the gem as well. So you know everything was happening. Decide to disengage. They're going to smoke up and set them their own high ground. Do they just sneak back into the Roshan?
Not yet.
The high ground?
You're strong enough to take a fight about it.
Sparkles drops the ward, so we'll in fact get the sentry counter. But that does mean that GG are into the Roche pit, and it doesn't look like they'll want to contest this right now.
I think once they see that always at bottom, always is showing bottom. Okay, no one's showing mid just yet. They did know that Not a Hero was there. But this is not the fastest Roche in the world. But it's going to be too late. They're going to get there not in time to fight this. They have an Observer Ward that spots this out. And they're going to pop the Moonlight Shadow. They are ready for this. And look at Sticklish. He blocks off the road. He says, pay your tolls, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, but they go back with the Epicenter anyways. Not a hero wants PC. He's got always with him as well. But they've taken so much damage. 2 heroes down. Well, pretty much no value at the moment. On the back lines, are paralyzing, costing a lot of work. But Chen brings everyone back to full HP. So at the end, they get nothing for it. They just drop 3 and Roshan. And I think the game at that point.
They're going to get Never as well. He's by the secret shop. Echo Slam puts him in position. They don't even need the full team to kill the most farmed hero on the enemy team. Or one of the most farmed heroes. Roche goes down 2. 4 heroes down. And I am not seeing how they come back into this game. Like, Not a Hero really did try for that one, but GG was positioned perfectly. The Borrow Strike only hit Roche. So, Luna didn't even need to pop a BKB immediately. Could just walk out of there DK in a similar position just stood his ground and did damage. And now this is it.
They're going to buy back, they're going to fortify, do what they can here. Okay, Sicklish doing some wonders here, just buying himself time. Look at Luna just going to town though on these tier 3s, tier 4s. And they get off a nice engagement, a beautiful engagement. Can they actually bring down RDK for the first time? Yes, they can. It's actually beautiful. Horizon Cast going on the back line. They want to finish off the DK. Can they do so? Probably enough damage. But in comes Goals, along with the rest side, trying to finish off Deva's Ember Spirit. And they will not quite manage to. Yes, they do, in fact. He brought back for this. In comes Not a Hero. One of the best burst strikes you'll see in a while. Buying a lot of time for that ultimate coming through from the Witch Doctor. They're going to survive for a little bit longer, it would seem. Up in the air goes the Earthshaker, and they're trying to finish the job. Burst Strike will keep him down for long enough to do so. And now Trax in the back line is being pegged away at Not a Hero, blinks forward. Will not have the Burst Strike available. In comes RDK, he was brought along for the ride. They might get a bigger wicket here if they want it. Now RDK pops the Mask of Madness, tries TP out, should be able to do so in the end. But most importantly, against the Aegis, they stand. And although it comes at it once again a big cost, this time both their tier 4s, Salt, are still technically alive.
If I'm Salt,
and they have a gem with True Slide.
that's best case scenario. We grab the gem. Lina has to buy back, sure, but Lina doesn't die back. Ember Spirit does die back, but we force a buyback out of Luna. We kill the rest of the team, and the most crucial thing, we do not lose an additional lane of racks. It might be the case that the tier 4 towers are gone, but the tier 4 towers are much less important than a second lane of racks at this stage of the game, and we got a ton of money out of that particular fight. Like, the game was looking like it was gonna go completely out of favor, but that one engagement just felt like GG weren't nearly as careful as they could otherwise have been. And they end up paying the penalty for it, Mr. Halbert. Now the game, they have to actually wait for the next Roche. Either for the
They might
next...
actually get a very big wicket here again, as they try to bring down Shin's enough, it is.
Yes.
So if they can get out of this without too much damage, it'll be a really big kill, always. Taking a world of pain though, and should be brought down. No, he survives! Thanks to Not a Hero, who was just that, a hero, as he broke the spirits there of GG. I say this. Actually, not at all. They're coming forward regardless. They're going to drop the ulti Santa once out. Going to get caught up by that ultimate from the Luna. But they're re-engaged here. Still, the ulti flies through. They're going to use the Glimmer Cape onto the Luna to buy himself a little bit of time. But they still want the Sand King, who's actually been pretty good in the last few fights. Yes, someone available in a second. But a second too late. And looks like it'll be in GG's favor in the end. They pick up the 2-for-1 there.
No, I disagree. I feel like that's actually in favor of the other, or maybe not. We'll see what happens with this push, but they not only get the Earthshaker kill, but they force Luna to use BKB and the Eclipse. There aren't any buybacks though, so there's a buyback on the Witch Doctor, but only away for 20 seconds. Alright, never mind, it does end up being in their favor, because they just go up the hill and push. If the Sand King had buyback, I think that could have been a different story. But Sansa should definitely have bought back much sooner than this.
Witch Doctor does buy back, because 20 seconds may have been too long. Never almost caught up. They're always on the front lines, doing a very good job of slowing things down. And the back line's Mental will catch him out. Tries to finish the job. They do find the kill into goals. Oh, but once again, Siglish comes in with a huge echo. Deletes one. Santa, he's just brought back, doesn't want to die in, will survive. Because be careful of those glaives, so they're really, really hurt. You can see on the front lines, RDK just making the most of that BKB. But now that's over. Well, now that's over, they're going to have to wait, because they're all on the wrong side of the Fissure. In comes Deva. He's supported by Sparkles. They've got to find something. They're so close to being in range for that heal scepter. Do find it now. Tosses up in the air. Never playing defensively in the backline. He's got to get in position there. Try to find the heal. They don't have any reveal.
My God.
He's going to walk straight out of it.
Did you see what Mental did there? As soon as he got Glimmer Caped, he deactivates his Radiance, so they can't actually chase him. And they have no idea where he's going to be. Great plays coming in from the DK there to save his own life. And this time around, unlike the last engagement, they do get the racks. They recognize what's important. And like you said, one of the big things is that Luna, she just take down your structures without even blinking. She doesn't even have to think about it. Just suddenly your buildings are gone. Feels bad, man.
I think if you also noticed, this reaching the stage where the supports can't even fight. Just from the glaives bouncing around. Think about that last fight. Sandy, he bought back. He tried to contribute. He got off a paralyzing cast, was sent back to the fountain, almost died off his buyback.
Yeah. Insane. Insane amount of damage coming in there from the Luna. 15k net worth for RDK.
You're hating on this hero. You're hating on this hero. Look how good.
Hey, remember I was hating and saying that it's very easy to deal with if you deal with it. But then they were like, oh, we'll deal with RDK later, and that's the completely wrong approach.
They want to deal with this DK instead, and they've popped everything on him, including the epicenter. So, but I mean, Santa tosses the paralyzing cast to feel involved, but that's a very important pick for. Buys him time. I'm sure you'll agree.
Yeah.
As I tease you, not to worry about the Luna,
Under attack.
that every kill now is like and time is what they need. But here's where I was actually trying to go with this. Do they actually have the late game to fight, like come back? Like if this lasts another 20 minutes, do things change, or is this like all said and done?
I actually think if this game isn't over in the next 10 minutes and they aren't if the game isn't either over and the game isn't completely decided, right? They aren't megaed or whatever, then I think a lot of this gold lead starts to revert. Like even if it's 15 or 20k up, at least half of that gets slashed away because this BKB is now down to 6 seconds onto RDK, and we've been seeing increasingly in these fights that he himself knows in that last engagement when they were close to diving the fountain, when his BKB was running low, he's like, guys, I'm going to die if I stick around here. I actually have to get myself back. And if they're capable of killing this DK that has 2.6k HP, a Radiance, I don't think he was in DK form at that time. But if DK can die, Luna can die. She might have more HP right now, but they actually do have the chain disable and the burst to bring her down. So they just need to, if the longer they delay, I actually think that GG, they need to start thinking about, okay guys, this has to be the real push that we're going to mount right now. I think they bought some items. Yeah, they got Ags on the DK to get the Elder Black Dragon form. There's not going to be an additional item onto Luna just yet. But Gold also is about to finish. Oh, I'm actually going to go for Lincoln's Sphere. I thought I was going to try for the Manta maybe, but Lincoln's almost done. This has to be it. They have to end the game very, very soon. You do not want to let the game trail as you're playing against an Ember Spirit, because Ember's one of those heroes that's always an X factor. Anything can happen when the Ember Spirit's in the game. And here we go though.
They intend this for this to be the end. They have the Agnum Scepter up on the DK, but no buyback available for him. So they pretty much have to make it happen. Not a hero. He's been really good with his initiations. Got to make something special happen here. A lot of damage comes in with the Echo Slam once more, but can they survive it? Sparkle's so low, trying to survive through the damage. He uses himself, tries to walk out, is not going to be able to do so. Not a hero gets off an amazing epicenter, but there's nothing left in the tank. They're going to buy back onto that Sanking, but they're going to get mega. It was exactly what you were chatting about. So in fact, they might just go straight for the throne here.
Are they sure? They know that there's no buyback on the Lina. There's absolutely no buyback on the Nyx either. And those are the two heroes you need.
The cannon mode never goes in very deep. Perhaps a little bit 2D. Gets caught up by Mental on the back lines. RDK trying to finish off not a hero, but it will be the Ember Spirit. He does get brought down now. In fact, once again, just from basically peripheral damage, RDK finishes off the Nyx. It's over now, but just showing once again how Salt just really didn't fight up against this Luna in the end.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it just became the... I think the main issue, in my opinion, what ended up happening there is, honestly, like, think about what happened once the Sand King had Blink Dagger. It legitimately felt like a different game. The Sand King only got the Blink Dagger after a disastrous fight where they end up losing, 5 heroes on the side of GG, but they've already claimed a lane of rack, so it doesn't matter as much. If not a hero was prioritized more in terms of their farm, and they didn't have as hard a time finding engagements, I think we'd still be in this. I actually don't even think the racks would have fallen. But this Nyx, man, this is the second game in a row where for some reason they decide to put Always on a really low impact hero, and they put not a hero on the hero that has to have a higher impact, but they gimp him by having him play harder support than he needs to. So, I don't know, man. Like, Team Salt, they could have won this. I think it would have been a very different game if it was Nyx support and Sand King offlane, but the way they decided to run it almost guaranteed their loss playing up against a hero like the Luna, and they lose, and it's no one's fault but their own. Because they actually played, it's especially disappointing thinking of how well they actually played, despite the fact that they had a massive gold deficit. They played really well. That last engagement now, when they lost their melee racks, they were in a situation where Gold did an incredibly smart thing from the side of GG and distracted the Ember Spirit and the Witch Doctor, forcing them to use Maledict and Death Ward on him rather than on the rest of the fight. But in the rest of the fight, every other spell that they used on the side of Team Salt stunned 2 or 3 heroes every single time. So it's not like the execution wasn't there, but the game plan, the way they went about tactically setting up the game plan, almost put them in this losing position. And you can't do that against a team with the quality of GG. They're going to exploit that kind of mistake, and we see them do it here by grabbing the 2-0.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything more I'd want to add to that. There is one thing I want to add, though. So, are you still in the victory screen by any chance?
Yeah. Right, no, not the victory screen. No, I've left the victory screen. Sorry, bro.
Okay, so I haven't, and you know what I'm very sad about is I noticed that Chen's neutral creeps do not celebrate their victory. And I was just staring at a whole bunch of creeps, like a whole bunch of creeps, a whole bunch of... I mean, there's a Radiant unit that has been stolen by Chen that is celebrating the victory, but the neutrals just standing there like miserable. Nah, I'm not a fan of this. Hashtag we need.
And man, Chen creeps are
Justice for
pacifists.
neutral creeps.
They're just pacifists, man. They're being forced into war against their will. They're never gonna celebrate the destruction of others. They had nothing to do with this beef. Why would they celebrate?
I'm really happy about this unit though that's busy celebrating. There's actually two of them, two units that have been taken over, busy celebrating here. I'm just like, hey, you turncoats, that's terrible. Anyways, absolute nonsense. So we have another game in like 10 minutes. I'm excited.
Yeah, so ladies and gentlemen, in the books right now is going to be Team Salt versus GG. GG does manage to grab themselves a 2-0 and secure themselves a second place spot thus far in the VS Gaming Premier League log. And they actually have several games in hand even. So it's pretty much all but guaranteed that they're going to end in a top 3 berth, hoping to keep their position here as the second best team in SA. Hopefully the best once we see the LAN competitions come out. And as Mr. Halbert mentioned, this is not the last that you'll be hearing from us. Next up, we do have some more Dota. The Luckers from Spartan Esports, or Luckers from Twilight rather, taking on Spartan Esports. And that game is going to be coming very, very soon. I don't know exactly when they're going to start loading into the lobby and everything. But just keep it tuned, keep it locked, and we will be back with some more Dota 2 action. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Snare and Halbert casting for the VS Gaming Premier League. Don't go anywhere.
We got a thing that's based on a kind of Latin rhythm known as the bossa nova. But it is not really a bossa nova, but we think that you will dig this because this is the bossa nova. But it is not really a bossa nova, but we got a thing that's based on a kind of Latin rhythm known as the bossa nova. But it is not really a bossa nova. Because this is a kind of Latin rhythm This is the bossa nova. this is a kind of Latin rhythm known as the bossa nova. Really bossa nova, but we think that you will dig this.
Allow me to demonstrate the skill of Shaolin, the special technique of shadow boxing.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to game number 1 here in the VS Gaming Premier League. We have ourselves another best of 3 series this time around, watching the side of Spartan Esports take on the Luckers from Twilight. A new stack, you know, some new boys, but some old names. Everybody that's out here has been known for quite some time, being some premier Dota players. And I'm not alone, I'm Snare, I'm with Halbert. Halbert, we haven't... I believe actually the last time either of us... No, that was... When was the last time we were together for a Spartan game? It's been a while, right?
Yeah, it's been a really long time. I'm quite looking forward to this though. There's some... Oh goodness, I just noticed the team name that has been set. So why does this happen to me? Why? Anyways.
That's a pretty hot name, man. I'm not gonna talk trash. You see... What you should have done though, what you really should have done, you should have just been like, oh well, really? These guys, they have Filthy Frank on the team. Why didn't Spartan ban Tree? Oh my god. Oh my god.
Well, let's see how this is. I actually know so many people in this game, it's kind of bizarre actually. I gotta say, I think the actual name for this team is Luckers from Twilight. And what's interesting about that is I think Revoker is also one of these like really old school guys to go back to the Twilight days as well. So he may feel at home in this matchup.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna feel at home. This is good. This is good. I do think one of the things that they're gonna need to do on the side of Spartan, right? One of the every player on that's playing right now for Luckers from Twilight. So you have I'm just thinking in particular of Export and TKC. These are players that, even Chosen One to a lesser extent, these are players that can play for the late game, for the really late game. So you want to try and take the game to them early. Picking heroes like Sand King, Shadow Shaman to go with this is the kind of way you need to do it. Just don't allow them to actually get to a point where they can play Dota the way they want to. Like, just don't let it happen. Just don't let it happen. Push faster than them. This game is going to be complicated though, because I do think that Shadow Shaman does not have the best time necessarily playing against Tree. But what can you do, right? You need something. You can't just let them play their style of game. They at least have to try to change up the tempo, force them across different sides of the map. And you have a lot of lockdown between these two heroes just off the bat.
I also want to point something out that's terrifying. This is no ordinary Tree and Protector. This Tree has been knighted by Sven.
Oh my god, really?
Because if you watch that...
Wait, no, I haven't watched it. Hey! I haven't watched it.
Listen, the spoiler thing has been...
Nah. I'm gonna mute you.
And this is hardly a...
I am prepared to mute you. I'm prepared to mute you.
Yo, mute me for a second, but this isn't really a spoiler. All I'm saying is game...
Sound muted. Sound
can be
resumed.
knighted by another knight. And Sven is, of course, the rogue knight. So now we have... Treant Knight.
Oh my god. Treant Knight with Sven. I legit did mute you just for a second. I'm just kidding. What do you think about this Phoenix ban? Like, we saw Phoenix, when was it? Was it last week or the week before that? When was that Phoenix game that we saw?
It was a game against the Huskar. That was
yeah. I'm kind of like weirded out why they'd actually take that hero out. Like, when I think of Phoenix, I don't think Chelsea's gonna play Phoenix. I don't know about that. I'm not really sure about the Huskar ban or the Phoenix ban. The Darkseer ban makes complete sense to me. But I don't know about this.
Because that's been left in the pool for a while, and it actually would go great with the Sven. Just make him... I mean, we saw with the Raid King actually the other night, how much damage Raid King can do when he gets on top of you. Sven would be potentially worse, because he's got the ability to hit a little bit harder. So, yeah, I think it's a pretty reasonable ban here.
Yep.
Pick-wise, though, I actually would love to see Spartan try to really go on the offensive. So, pick up some like high-tempo heroes, something that's really going to take the fight to Luckers from Twilight.
Yeah, you need to actually play aggressively into them. So there is some information that they revealed on the side of the Luckers that Spartan doesn't necessarily have to have revealed yet. We know the Shadow Shaman's playing probably past 5, and it's most likely an offlane Sand King, but not really locked into that. Right now, though, I do think Sven, it's kind of a waste to pick this hero if you're not picking it as a carry. And if Filthy Frank is on your team and there's a Treant that's picked, we know who's playing it. So at least that gives you some information on what to expect. And they get Nyx. I'm not really sure Nyx was the answer here.
Before.
Yeah, unless it's... I'm actually not sure that Nyx was the answer here. I think one of the other issues about the Nyx Assassin... In the previous game, we saw that the primary problem with this hero is you can't deal with 5-man fighting lineups like effectively at all. you kind of have to rely on being able to just pick people off one by one by one. Picking people off is a lot harder proposition when there's a tree in the game. Like, I'm not sure about this one. Also, you have Tree and Sven. There's not a lot of... You don't have that much burst damage on the side of Spartan as it stands right now. If they'd gone for like a Lion, I could really have seen it as a perfect pick to end off their draft. Have the double Hex, a ton of magical damage, and you have all the burst that you could possibly need. In this game, it's dubious, and they immediately pick Rubik after you. And I kind of really like Rubik versus Nyx. Like, stealing any of his... Oh, except for Spike Carrot is not that great, but any of his other spells are super good on Rubik.
Actually, all of the spells that are available at the moment are fantastic. Then Lightseed becomes and gets into Rage, which is once again not amazing on Rubik. But I mean, any of the Sand King spells are great. Any of Shadow Shaman spells are great. Nyx has a fantastic stun for Rubik because once again, it kind of functions the same way like a Fisher does. It's just not quite as great. But the point is, it becomes an instant cast spell on a spell that normally has the difficulty in being a like a slow cast spell, bad cast animation. So Rubik has 3 sets of heroes that he is happy to take any of their spells.
Yeah. Can take anything, actually. The only thing that was gonna suck is if you steal Infest, then you're not really a happy camper, but everything else is fine. Right now, Razor, pick it up. Oh, Shadow Demon. This is even better. God. Core Shadow Demon, I actually do really like. I feel like this hero is underrated in the core role, because levels make this hero preposterously strong. They might end up doing this weird thing where they put Rubik mid for TKC instead. I'm kind of hoping though that they do run the Shadow Demon as their mid laner or in the off lane, and then they get something else for TKC mid. Either way, one of the things that this does give you, your Demonic Purge works against the Lifestealer Rage. So he rages, you just kite him, and Sven can go ham and destroy the rest of the team. Because I can just easily imagine how a fight goes, right? You Demonic Purge the Lifestealer, you disrupt either the Nyx Assassin or the Sand King, maybe Shadow Shaman if he's channeling the Shackles, or even the mid hero that we have yet to see. And then Sven destroys everybody else. And then you, hey presto, everything looks good.
Yeah, I actually really like this draft as well, because as you mentioned, Shadow Demon, very effective against the Lifestealer, but also Treant is fantastic alongside Sven. One of Sven's biggest problems is being kited himself. But in this case, you just hold them down for a while. That becomes a lot easier for Sven to work around. So the draft right now looking pretty good. I will say this much though, I do think that Nyx is pretty handy against the Shadow Demon, so it kind of worked out for them. Oh, and good old Pango to roll things off. I feel like the Pango's alright, like it's kind of a whatever last pick. It's not bad, but...
Yeah, honestly, after the changes to the Lucky Shot, I feel like this hero was maybe, like, it was actually in my mind a huge nerf. Not being able to get the silence off, just the disarm. I suppose that in this game, because the disarm is guaranteed, it's going to be extremely useful versus Lifestealer if he does find himself not having Rage up already. But, like you say, it's okay. It's okay. Spartan, I do like this first pick though.
You like the Quap pick?
Yeah, I do like the Quap. Like, they don't have that much to lock the Quap down with. And they can catch her with the ultimate from Tree and the lift from Rubik. But it's unlikely she doesn't generally tend to get chain disabled too much by heroes like the Pangolier. It's unlikely that, like, you disrupt her, she can still blink out of it for the most part. And they were lacking any kind of burst beforehand, relying on Lifestealer to just outcarry the fight long term. So I like that they mix up their damage a bit, and they have different options for how they want to engage the fight now. Like, Queen of Pain can be the one that goes in, like if she buys maybe Yules or a Hex, no, Yules or Orchid rather, she can be the one that jumps in to get the engagement started, and then Sand King and Nyx Assassin back her up afterwards. So it's not the worst thing though. I actually do like the Quap, and it's a nice lane versus there's no lane that loses, that you lose as Queen of Pain right now, looking at all the enemy heroes, especially since the change to Lucky Shot ensures that you can't get silenced. So you should be able to win out the lane no matter what.
Yeah. I must say as well, I'm staring at this Rubik and just thinking once again, like, what fantastic spell steal, because Queen of Pain, Shadow Strike isn't a fantastic spell steal for Rubik, but once again, everything else is great. Like, I would love to be playing Rubik up against this lineup. It's fantastic for him. But anywho, let's see how this one goes. Who are you predicting is going to take this one, Snare?
I have learned many times in my past, Mr. Devon. And I've lost many things in the past, right? By betting against the Filthy Frank Tree. I have promised to never make that mistake again. So yeah, I'm going with the Cummies on Snacky.
Yeah, I think if we're honest about the player versus player position in this one, if you would, And that's a scary strong lineup. Actually, they have a huge amount of experience. They have some players that will literally ruin your life if you ever come across them. So
What? Wait, what?
Say,
Hold up. Oh my god. Look at the switch up, fam. Look at the switch up. They have Filthy Frank playing the Rubik instead of actually going in for this young tree and protector. So instead it's Chosen One playing tree in the offlane. Wait, is this Chosen One? I think it is Chosen One, right? Yeah, because
I
Dog
was
is...
literally staring at their nicknames.
Yeah, there we go.
I was like, I actually have no idea who's who at the moment, if I'm perfectly honest. But let's just make the assumption that you're correct here. And I'll say this much. Chosen One is an incredibly smart player. So if there's somebody you want to take that position that isn't Filthy Frank, it's probably him.
It's gonna be something. Okay, so Chosen One is... His Oaks are loving it, okay, as to be expected, because he's going to be playing this offlane hero. I expect... What are the odds of Brown Boy not being TKC?
I mean, for reasons I shan't go into.
Oh, lol.
I know who Export is.
I mean, yeah, you know. Export's like, oh, okay, we see you, bro. Don't worry about it. Like, Export
I'm
is...
just going to call them by their names in games. It's going to make my life easier. Whatever. We'll figure it out later.
Lol. Yeah, it doesn't matter, right?
Laziness, right? Yeah.
I'm fine with it. Actually, it doesn't matter. And actually, they'll deserve it. As for naming themselves such, coming into an official game. If you don't want to be referred to as Dog, as your actual in-game name, then don't name yourself Dog. Come on, Chelsea, you're better than this.
So, I just got to say, I have this thing about, you may have noticed there, I have this thing about logos, etc. And it's quite funny because you see Spartan Esports, they have like, you know, it's serious business. You got this white Spartan logo, Spartan Esports written on it, and you look across the lane, no flags.
Just
the only thing they do have is a logo of a, you know, of what, the Loch Ness Monster or something.
Uh-huh.
You know, there you go. Taking
just
it,
like,
taking
okay.
it serial.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Brown Boy is Bob. Is Bobby. Oh my god. Is this the boy Bobby Yules? Yeah, it is Bobby Yules. Oh my god, dude. Yep, it's Bob Yules. Okay, so Brown Boy, we're still gonna call them by what they're tagged up as, but I just wanna get it so we know. So Brown Boy is Bob Yules. Oaks are loving it right now. Is the Chosen One. Chelsea is Dog. In the mid, Rolly Man is Filthy Frank. And then, you know, Export. So TKC is the one that's missing today. So
I swear I saw TKC in the lobby.
I also thought I saw TKC. I was also pretty sure I saw TKC in the lobby. But I don't know. We'll investigate after the game. It doesn't matter.
We're getting carried away here. This is not a useful thing. I mean, let's all just appreciate for a moment that the Lekad Matag soundtrack.
Sound muted. Sound resumed.
Do you have any favorites there? Any favorite sounds of Dota?
I'm not a difficult man to please, right? But honestly, you see the long Seb, the full one, right? There is a reason why I love that Seb line so much, right? As you know, during TI, I was caping for LGD from before the tournament even started, right? I've been caping for my boy maybe for years now, and I was confident that they'd win the tournament. And in the tournament, in that crucial game, I was like, this is GG. They're winning the game. There is no possible way for them to come back into this. And then the Seb happened. And I remember experiencing the most glaring cognitive dissonance I've ever felt in my life. Being hyper impressed by the play, but also being like, fuck this. This is the worst thing I've ever seen in Dota. So it has to be that. And I'm also glad that they managed to lose out on 3 bounty runes on the side of the luck. This is what you get for the memes, boys.
There's some hating going on here. I just want to remind you, you've been very bad with commentators curse lately. So be careful, because if you do try to
that's true. That's
condemn
true.
somebody, they may just have the game of their lives.
Okay, look at
So
this.
let's say a little bit about mid. Provoker versus Rolly Man. How do you see this particular matchup going?
So I was saying earlier when we saw the draft that there is a potential for them to be putting the Rubik mid rather than the Shadow Demon. One of the primary reasons why you do this is that Fade Bolt is a really good spell for being able to dominate the lane. In this lane, actually, you don't really have much kill potential onto Rubik as the Queen of Pain, because Rubik can always just lift you and toss you back. So this lane actually goes pretty evenly. I think it's actually slightly Rubik favored. until about like level 4. So I do expect that Filthy Frank should be able to, for the most part, win out in this particular matchup against the Revoker Queen of Pain. You have more damage than her. He showed up as well with the double Mantle of Intelligence. And now that he's got level 2 as well, with Arcane Supremacy, you're definitely going to end up winning this matchup. You're going to be fine. I'm really going to be worried about this co-op, honestly.
Yeah, he's having a hard time. One kill, one last hit, one deny at the moment against 6 and 3, and we're only 1 minute into the game.
Yeah,
that is a lot. And you can see he is struggling with Fate Bolt to deal with actual damage output he's capable of doing. It really does mess up your ability to last hit. It throws you off in a big way, especially if you aren't too familiar with the matchup.
Yeah. I had legit thought they were going to be putting this Pangolier in the mid lane, but this is a much better decision. Pango right now in turn is having an okay time. Doesn't have Swashbuckle. Might end up dying here.
You say this.
He's actually fine.
He's getting some help out from Boy, but unfortunately, that's not going to get rid of the Shackle. But it does mean that DWS gets a lot of a beating here in this bottom lane. Rarg. Happy to at least put some pressure on Pango. Pango doesn't like consistent harassments, and unfortunately in this lane, they don't have a huge amount of it. So just being able to shackle him up and take out a chunk of his HP does help.
Yeah, it does make a difference. The primary thing though is that they just want to be able to confirm that they get as much farm on this lifestealer as possible. Positive news for them on the side of the Spartan Esports lineup is that they are dealing with a situation where lifestealer is in a lane without any other ranged heroes. So you just get to sit back, get protected by DWS, and you are going to find your CS. You also are not threatened by the Treant Protector whatsoever. And given the changes, again, the change to this Pango, before you might have been able to every now and then, you make Lifestealer feel a bit weird because you can silence him, but now it's like, whatever. Lifestealer is like, oh, disarm me? Okay, I'll just wait. It's not that big a deal, and I'll be okay.
I gotta say I'm really worried about mid. This mid lane this is rough. I mean, you have to bear in mind that you're not talking about a regular Dota player here. This is a freak of nature.
This is a top 500 player.
Mid lane, but this is really rough. I mean, Revoker has pretty much. Oh, we're missing the first blood actually. Can I get something off? No, not at all. But yeah, mid lane is more of a concern than the first blood. You're looking at your Queen of Painting at 7 for 3 versus 17 for 6.
Yeah. No, this only gets worse. This only gets worse. And because of how hard he's been beaten down right now, and like Filthy Frank is never going to be threatened after this point in time. Revoker, he's level 4 right now, but he's gone in for the 2 points in Shadow Strike. And we're at the stage of the lane where how things have gone, Frank will no longer care. He's like, oh, whatever. And he's about to hit level 5 as well, which will give him, he can either choose level 3 Fade Bolt or level 2 Arcane Supremacy. Either way, it's going to mean that Revoker very soon will have to go back and shrine. Actually going to have to go back to base. It's not even 5 minutes yet. He actually has to leave. Like, be very careful right now. In 5 seconds, Fade Bolt is back online. And Revoker is completely out of any possible regen. He actually has to back away right now, just for fear of dying. So this is a pretty rough situation. And at bottom,
this is a tough ask.
Yeah, it is. It's near impossible. There, level 3 Fade Bolt. He's playing against level 3 Fade Bolt with Bottle. Look at the damage that will come forward if he shows his face. Yep. At least he has his own Bottle coming in right now, though. So Revoker did end up taking a somewhat riskier play of maintaining his presence in the lane just long enough until he can get a Bottle. So here is the regen that he needs. But look at Filthy Frank. Big place. Low.
Yeah, that is really rough. 29 for 6, a solo kill versus 11 for 3. I also want to point out that there's so much control coming out in this mid lane from this Rubik. He's constantly pushing the lane back onto the tower, so the Queen of Pain can never get 2 runes, get 2 after. I mean, look what's happening. It's moved out towards the bottom lane here, and this is going to be the death of DWS. Oaks are loving it, isn't even able to get in line for that kill, and what does he do? He's using this opportunity literally just to get up back in full mana so he can be more of a threat. Now he's got Aethershock level 2 as well, which is an additional 200 damage onto his already high Fade Bolt damage.
Yeah.
Revoker is in a lot of trouble.
Revoker, if Revoker gets lifted, Revoker is going to die. Top lane though, we do see that at the very least. Oh, nice Stormhammer. I think Mr. Speaker might die.
Trying
Beautiful.
to bring down Mr. Speaker, but I think he'll be okay.
Nice
Not
one.
quite enough damage. We needed probably the 4th charge of Shadow Poison to bring him down. It will hurt though.
No, he's fine. That's only level 1. So he's okay. It's cool. If it was level 2, that might have been a different story. But level 1, even after Soul Catcher's landed, doesn't actually do that much damage. So he's going to be chill. The issue though
Just
is
look at the damage onto Revoker. Sorry, I'm staring at this lane, and I apologize for just spamming on about it, but it is one of the most devastating losses mid I've seen in a very long time.
bottom.
Top lane though, it looks like Rousseau might be Rustros who may be brought down. He does manage to walk it off in the end. Only the one Shadow Poison to make that too. Should be fine. Needs to catch the third, does not. So he'll be okay in the end.
They almost lost
But a lot of
the.
damage coming out here.
They almost lost Shadow Demon as well. Oh no, Rubik's here. Rubik's
Oh
here.
wow, okay.
Frank showed up.
It's
He just grabbed a young haste rune. He just shows up like it ain't no thing. And he stole the level 3 Shadow Strike. Does Mr. Speaker have Spike Carapace? He does. So, doesn't feel like he wants to use it or no?
oh, that's important. That's really important.
That is really important. You're very right. I actually didn't think he was going to stick around for that whole engagement. It was kind of weird because he still had the haste rune going. So,
Yeah,
should
he got caught out with a. He realized what was happening, backed off. He did overstay his welcome a little bit, but this did have to connect with a pretty tough impale to get that kill. But he did so, and the rest is history.
That's a pretty big kill. Not only does it get the kill onto Revoker, who absolutely needed the money, this is also time that Filthy Frank is not in the lane. So he's not accelerating his own lead. That did allow in a moment for Revoker to pick up level 7, the same level as the Rubik. Unfortunately, Revoker has to go all the way back to base to refill health and mana, allowing Filthy Frank to yet again assert solo dominance over the lane. And simultaneously, DWS gets brought down at bottom. I think the Lifestealer is farming.
Nah, it's gonna be fine. Survives.
Oh.
Need another big paw there from the tree, would have been brought down. So, okay, other than the fact that mid lane's been a pretty one-sided affair, and you can see there's almost a 2,000 net lead, Rog, gotta be careful here. Actually trying to stand his ground here up against Oaks and Loving It. He could potentially just get the disarm here off with a lucky
Nah,
shot.
what they're doing is
Realize,
they're softening him up. Here comes Filthy Frank. They're creating the space. Frank's got him. There we go.
Comes with Blink, and they're gonna finish him off. They did get the rotation with Freaker, and once again, Filthy Frank immediately steals the next spell. It's the Impale that he's picked up now.
And they just go back towards
That's
tower.
actually pretty fantastic with the Impale as well. They've rotated the DWS Shadow Shaman towards the middle, but there's nothing there for him to gang. Here's Sven getting angry in the top lane because there's been quite a big stack that's created for him. He's going to use this just to farm down. I think, yeah, yes, there's a second one just to the side there as well. So that's going to escalate Lucas' farm quite significantly. We'll turn his attention now to the second wave, but
Mr. Speaker's dead.
he is. They've got nothing on this at the moment. Bottom lane, they're going to go in once again onto the Shadow Shaman. DWS actually the target. Should be able to finish him off. He'll stay alive a little bit longer, but Impale connects and he goes down. The Speaker also in a little bit of trouble here as they charge in after him. Brown Boy will connect then thanks to a little bit of well-positioned Pangolier-ness. And although Oaks Loving It goes the wrong way, the Speaker does survive a little bit longer. Ring Thunder will end. Pops a Spike Carapace by himself a little bit of time, wants to go to the neutral split, but it's going to be a kill going to the Pangolier. 8-1 at 9 minutes, 2k advantage. This is looking rough.
2k gold advantage. We also haven't even. Oh, wait, mid lane.
Can they finish him off here? Probably do. Yes, they do, because they have Brown Boy on the sidelines. He gets off the ultimate. Will get the cross kill at the very least, but this is mayhem at the moment.
Whew. This is the Luckiest from Twilight with a kill a minute thus far, with all 3 of their core heroes in the top 3 of net worth. Sure, their supports are languishing behind, but it doesn't really matter, given how well everyone's doing. Also, we haven't taken into account that Chelsea has effectively been uncontested. I mean, sure, Filthy Frank has been the story of this game, given his incredible performance in the mid lane. But Chelsea's just been sitting here farming. And Sven, how many a game have we seen where Sven calmly farming by himself, being uncontested, ends up being able to take things over? Here in this game, he's going to have assistants playing ahead of him. But that being said,
Catch out Rog, he was going for the bottom ruin. Might be able to get more out of this. You have these Shadow Strike as well available. They're going to pick him up and slow him down as well. This is their core, going to be brought down almost certainly. He's going to stand his ground, do what he can, but in the end, even the disarm comes out. They commit the Rolling Thunder as well because they want a little bit more. They're going to go for DWS. They'll be able to stun him up again. Do manage to do so. Although they're a little bit slow on the uptake here. Brown Boy will try to get around this back lines, but there's 4 heroes down here. They're going to pick this up easily. 11-2, 3k advantage at 10 minutes. Probably start looking for some objectives now is the one thing they're missing, but they won't have too much of a hard time of it. Towards the top lane, the Revoker wants to find something. He blinks in aggressively after Lucky, tries to bring him down, can't even get in range for the Shadow Strike. He's too far away from his supports to be able to really threaten the Sven.
yeah, Chelsea will live there. Like, man, actually, I did not think Ra was going to die initially. when
Okay, sorry, mid lane. Revoker in trouble once again. He's very committed. Big, so he's level 1. He could actually find himself in a bit of trouble here. Looks like Man's going to let him live this time. The damage is so huge. I mean, he's literally walked back into lane and just been destroyed.
But for me, the issue isn't even the damage, right? The issue is this early Aether Lens. Are you seeing the range of these freaking spells? Like, it's so crazy how far away he's able to catch everybody out. He might die though.
They do shackle him up. They're bringing in sports as well. Revoker's got to be careful. Realize he can't stand his ground, really. Can they finish this job? We'll get caught up with the Brother Struck. Finally, they bring him down, but it's a 4-man rotation to do so. I actually kind of feel like it's worth it at this point, since the man is sitting on 5k at the moment. His opposite number is shy of 4k.
He's got a full 1,000 gold advantage over the Queen of Pain from the other side. And sure, like you mentioned it, they do manage to kill him there, but they get nothing out of that kill. Instead of just pushing creeps close to the tier 1, in that time period while he's dead, Revoker goes back to base to heal up his health. Rustro had to come back to heal up his mana. I mean, Ra is still farming, but he has to farm close to his team right now, so there's not really much you gain off the map. I think Ra did deny the tier 1 at bottom, so that's the one sort of positive impact that they get. They're gonna get at least...
Sorry,
yeah.
they're gonna find something here. This is important. They do stack the stuns a little bit, but it shouldn't matter. They bring him down within the shackle regardless. They look for a little bit more. They're going after Export. He'll use the offensive dash here, but it's pretty much defensive. But they do have the opportunity to bring down this Queen of Pain, because once again, with Frank in the front lines, they're going to finish off Revoker. He tried to get off his ulti. He tried to get a little bit more damage out, but in the end, he wasn't able to do so. Now, do they find more here? Do you have the Sand King? Doesn't look like he wants to go for the Burrow Strike. They'll immediately steal that Sandstorm, though.
Jesus Christ. This Arcane Supremacy with the Aether Lens right now, creating a huge difficulty curve for the side of Spartan Esports. There's so much magic damage, and the issue is that they put Rustro in the mid lane, in the off lane rather, on the Sand King, and he went for this Veil of Discord build. Not a bad build at all on the Sand King. However, you're playing this in a game where you absolutely need a Pipe of Insight of some kind, and that's just not going to be coming in. Revoker also is not going to be healthy at any given time, and he has gone in for that build that I thought he would with the Orchid Malevolence, but given how far behind he is, this might be a bad idea. You should go for like Yules or BKB. And they're all rotating in again, looking for Rolly Man.
Yeah, they desperately want him. He's going to rage up. They could potentially
He's got Sandstorms
use against him now. Does commit to the Sandstorm. They're going to get the dust up though. Nice telekinesis while I'm a little bit of time. But surely there's no way out of this one. Gets stunned up, gets controlled, and will finally be brought down within the Sandstorm. Kind of an important kill, but as you mentioned before, probably the bigger deal is that he's put so much pressure, but the Sven is just farming top lane. They're going to engage him here with the heavy Burrow Strike. They're trying to finish the job. He's sliding around. Can they finish him off? Very, very low. Still alive.
Nice.
Finally brought down by Revoker.
Nice.
At
Alright.
least they're finding kills.
That actually makes a huge difference. Not only do they get the kill onto the big Rubik, you bring down the Sven as well, delay the progression of Chelsea going forward. He does have his Midas and is working his way into the Echo Saber. But one of the main things you do is that you are preventing any pressure from coming onto your own towers. And that is the one positive aspect. They've only lost one tower, and they have the better overall pushing lineup. So anytime that you're taking these kind of kills onto multiple cores simultaneously, you probably feel good. Sadly, they're not in position to put DWS in front of a tower so you can plop down the mass Serpent Wards. But you're not feeding, and you sort of manage to stabilize, and throughout that entire time period, Ra was farming without any fear or favor, and has at least managed to catch up more or less to the position of the Pangolier. Next up is going to be the Sven, and he can get there, and this hero can eventually deal with these heroes like Sven and Rubik. Just needs a little bit of help, and it probably won't be helped if he dies right now, so he needs to get out.
Well, they're going to find Export here with a Vendetta. Probably able to bring him down, no problem, because he is just planting wards. Quite isolated, does have some support on the other side of the tree line. They opt not to go for it. Gotta be careful because there's a sentry that's dancing around it. Let's get caught out now, banished immediately. Export buying a little bit of time here. Look at the damage that's brought out. It's obviously just thanks to that soul assumption, but hold on. Cut off the tree. Just a little bit of handbag snapping right now. See, I think the big thing for me as well is if you look at how the map's being used, there's always somebody on Twilight Luckers or Luckers from Twilight that are finding some farm. DWS actually catches out something particularly good here, but no support really in range. Rustro will get in here, but now the support's there coming from the opponents. Pains with the Rolling Thunder will be enough to dissuade any further aggression.
I like how they've been prioritizing getting these bounty runes on the side of Spartan Esports, making sure that at the very least, the free gold that their game does give you, they will take advantage of as much as they can. They might actually kill Frank here.
Well, they're actually going back into DWS. He's still alive. They're going to try to get the Rolling Thunder off. Was actually in interrupted, and they go for the shackle as well. GWS is brought down though pretty easily in the end. They're going to still do a lot of damage to Rustro. Should be fine. He'll have the blink dagger up. Assuming the Barrow strike in a second. Goes in aggressively actually. Right underneath that ward. Should be brought down. Going to beat him up. Do so. Manage to do so. Revoker will find the cross call and export now. Now finally we see the real Rolling Thunder come out. It's going to be used defensively just to get out of dodge.
Yeah.
Again, I think the biggest problem for me is that everything is happening on the side of the map for Spartans. They're pretty much like all their wards are defensive,
Yeah.
all their positioning is defensive. There's no way that they can win from this position. There's no threat that Twilight Luckers are playing into.
Yeah. Even when Revoker does finish off this Orchid Malevolence, they don't really have that many easy avenues of getting on top of these heroes to kill them. Because, as you say, playing everything on their side of the map, and because of this one particular fact, it also means that you can't really filter in reinforcements as fast as the enemy team does. So you're always playing with a sort of numerical disadvantage, especially because you feel you can't fight just yet. Sand
So
King?
top lane, they're going to catch out the Sand King. They should be able to bring him down before he can get anything off. Do manage to do so.
That's a huge
The
deal.
Sarmark and Revoker adds insult to injury.
That's a huge deal. Anytime they kill Sand King, I actually think Sand King is the highest priority target for them to kill right now. Because you can't really prevent Orchid from eventually arriving from the Queen of Pain. Bottom lane, they're gonna lose Bob Bules. Oh, SARS Bob.
He actually does commit the ulti, trying to find his
He's actually
weapon.
gonna
Just
live.
walk away from this.
Yeah, he's gonna live.
Walk away from this.
Yeah, he's fine.
Is he being... Yeah, he's just doubling back. I think he should be fine.
Yeah, he's fine.
He's not dusted anymore. He's happy. He's in fact just going to heal up with his tranquil boots. Doesn't have much mana regen, unfortunately, but he'll be A-okay. Top lane. Frank picks up a tier 1 tower for his efforts. Farming happily with the amplified Sandstorm as
Oh
well.
my god. Like, Arcane Supremacy Sandstorm, this is ridiculous. Oh, but the thing I was going to say about the Sand King and why I think he's the most important hero on the map right now for the side of Spartan Esports is we still see... Today it seemed like the story of the day has been... Oh, this one, yeah, this one.
He's going to be brought down
This
for
one.
sure.
This
As
very
he's
one.
caught out by the telekinesis, pulled back up and sent back home the hard way.
Feels bad, man.
Stop jinxing these men.
He's been sitting on 1400 gold for the last 3 minutes, and they're also going to lose Mr. Speaker as well. Not much you can do about this. But the thing I wanted to... Okay, now that he's dead, he can't die again, right? So I can quickly make the point that if he's not alive, and he's not farming, and he doesn't get this Blink Dagger, continuing the story of the day, it does seem that it's going to be a case that no one can start fights on the losing teams. Because of how hard a time Revoker has had, there's no way he feels comfortable being at the forefront of the fight. He has to wait for everybody else to initiate first, and then he can come in and clean up afterwards. So without this Blink Dagger happening from the Sand King, they just have to sort of wait for the side of Luckers to come at them. And given the overwhelming advantage that's present of all their heroes, you don't want them to actually come at you. And whenever they come at you, especially with Filthy Frank at the foreground of that come, it goes badly for you. So things
I
actually
gotta say
stand.
as well, I don't like this bull coming out from Pima. He's rushed the Orchid, he's lit up, but you can't fight.
Yeah, you
like,
can't.
what do you know, the BKB would have allowed you to actually fight. At the moment, no one can fight. I mean, your Sand King's getting obliterated. What chances does Queen of Pain have if he actually blinks in? Mispreek, though, heading the front lines. We see immediately disarmed there. He gets out the Orchid, but what is it doing? Not much. He's just taking damage from it. He gets Barrow Strike. Does have the life still in. They're going to try bring down the Rubik. Nice ulti comes up from Pango. He's got a lot to work with here. Beautiful positioning from him as well as the defensive disruption comes out. The Spreaker trying to find some. The Shackles come out. The Servitors doing what they can in the background. But Dog comes in. He's just cleaving through everybody. And even though the Epi was on the back line, he was controlled beautifully. And now sitting underneath that ward, probably lose your Sand King again. Will lose your Sand King again. Brought down by the now godlike Pangolier. And 4 for 1. They do get the Filthy Frank Rubik, but yeah. It's probably not worth 4 deaths.
So they get Rubik. Revoker's the one that picks that up with the Sonic Wave. 400 gold for that kill. Not bad at all. But then, obviously, like you mentioned, he also has a Blink Dagger, Chelsea. He bought it a couple of minutes ago at top. He thought they was going to use it to push down the tier 2 and fight, but they just got the tier 2 for free. And he shows up, dealt 3,500 damage there. And now suddenly... I mean, look at this guy. He's level 16 right now. Like, most of the way towards having the... Or at least halfway towards having the full completed BKB. Pushing down onto the tier 2 tower without a care in the world. Only backed up by this Pangolier. And Pango... Again, Pango is also OP. Crazy strong. And this is the ultimate greed that you see coming in from a player like Chosen One. Not only does he go for their Maelstrom Basher, he goes for Maelstrom Basher and still buys a tertiary Javelin just for the additional procs, so that Swashbuckle does as much damage as humanly possible.
Yeah, it's looking rough. What does he do with his javelin? Does he just hang on to it?
No, you just leave it, yeah. You don't.
I guess you could go MKB.
You can
at
go
some
MKB
point.
later, but actually you don't even need it. Like MKB
Yeah.
seems like a waste even. It's way too much gold to commit. I think after this you build Ags into Greaves, I believe.
Well, he wants the Ags definitely queued up here. Ooh, I don't know where you go right now. It's just you're holding on by a thread. Like it feels like at any second you can just lose 5 heroes again, and but with that the game most likely. I mean, 22 to 8, 11k deficit, 21 minutes in. You just kind of need to stop getting killed. But even with all their defensive wards, they haven't been able to do so.
I'm still sticking to this point. All they need, the only way they can start playing Dota is once they have Blink Dagger on the Sand King. It's similar to the previous game. Oh, did he just pop? Yeah, he did. It's kind of similar to the previous game where we saw that as soon as they had Blink Dagger on Sand King, sure, it came when the game was effectively over, but it actually felt like afterwards they were capable of taking fights. And without that, honestly, I don't see any possible path for them to victory without this Blink Dagger being available. They need to, like, what they're doing now is the wrong thing to. They need to just plop him down somewhere and just farm for him. They might get Bob Yules. This might be the goal they
Potentially
need.
find some kind of farm in the form of a tree. He is very isolated here, and Pango would love to help him, not going to be able to do so. He is now very close to that Blink Dagger, actually. But a little bit frightening because he's got the boost travel queued up as well. Nice. He's not getting it because he would have now. So once this satire has been defeated,
There we go.
Blink Dagger comes out. So now your prayers have been answered.
BT's first would have
We'll
been...
spot out that ward. Also spot out 2 heroes running around in the bottom line. We probably... Oh, actually, that's kind of beautiful, but do they have any... They didn't have detection, really. We will find the Shadow Shaman, though, so that should be a nice kill for them. They don't quite bring him down in time, though. He gets off the Hex. There's the Epicenter coming through as well from Rustra. Doing a lot of work here. It's actually 2 for 1 in their favor, considering that they lost the tree earlier. They're going to try and bring down Export as well. Revoker. Oh, he gets caught up by Sven. That's a huge amount of burst damage. Goodbye. Smashed apart, and Mistweaver now in trouble as well. They don't have any abilities available just yet. Nice Stun comes up, but really man goes the other way. Finds himself a Life Stealer. He was in range at the time, so he's being controlled for the time being. We'll wait out that rage, use it against the Stormhammer, and manage to get out of harm's way. Mistweaver taking a lot of damage here. Does have the Impale available, will be able to line up at least 2 and does so. But there's an angrier hero coming out after him. Won't have the... Oh, in fact, he did have the spike characters available for a moment. Gets stunned up though, so this should be the end of him. Finally, slowly, and is.
Killed with the meme hammer feels bad, man. That's not great. That fight actually didn't go as badly for them as it could have. They lose 3 heroes there, but let's take into account that we also saw Filthy Frank being able to steal Sonic Wave in the midst of that fight, and he turned it around onto them. There's a lot of damage that came out, so only losing a single main core hero and Ra not dying, because let's be real, Revoker's probably gonna die in every single engagement coming forward until this BKB is available. Not the worst thing in the world, although I do feel Revoker could probably have blinked out sooner. It's like, they're not gonna get that much out of it. They're gonna try and secure the tier 2. I don't even think they get the tier 2 here. So there's worse
So
things.
they want something else. They're going to find this tree again. He's trying to do this for sight. And the problem as well is that he's actually quite hard to bring down, because if you get into the tree line, I mean, there's just not a huge amount of damage coming out. Finally, they do find him, but oh, they're coming with the Rolling Thunder, and it's beautifully positioned once more. Meme Hammer gets dropped down. They're trying to bring down the tree, and will manage to do so. Revoker just able to get away from the Pangolier. They're going to keep chasing after him, though. Oxalami, he's going to get the defensive disruption. Here comes Dog, gets everything. He gets support as well from the Rubik, who I believe saw this Burrow Strike. Now they're going to get what's left of the side of Spartans. Right now, it's just falling apart. But it was actually beautiful to watch, if I'm perfectly honest.
Oh man, they're all in a straight line. 3-man Stormhammer, 3-man Shield Crash, 3-man Impale from Rubik. No, 3-man Borrow Strike from Rubik, stolen from the Sand King. Absolutely perfect fight. And of course, Pangolier was able to find the swashbuckle hit onto all 3 heroes with the additional procs from the Javelin and the Maelstrom. Oh, that was actually poetic. And now here they are on the high ground. When it looked like the fight initially is like, okay, you're losing the tree and protector. You're not getting that much out of it. But they get greedy on the side of Spartan E-Force. They kill tree and they're like, man, you know, things look so good for us, man. We can keep going for more. We've only lost the Nyx Assassin. You know, the fight doesn't look that rough for us. You know, we have the positioning advantage. We have Sonic Wave. Let's go for it. And they end up walking right into a trap. Everybody dies. Now Roche. Look at this, Chelsea. How fortuitous. Comes across a double damage rune as he wants to saunter into the Roshan pit. And he's just chilling.
Only happens when you're winning, right?
Only when you're like crazy far ahead. Then it's like, oh, here's a DD rune, bro. Enjoy life.
So, yeah, casual. 750 damage, no problem. Or rather, total of 750 damage. Life's looking pretty good if you're like right about now.
That scares
Aegis
me.
in hand, 3k in the bank.
This scares me. Rubik, once he finishes this Aghanim Scepter, we've already been talking about the utility of the spells that are available on the enemy team, and we've already seen how well Filthy Frank has been playing with those stolen spells. Once he has Aghanim Scepter, he can take every single spell in every single fight. I don't know if Ra wants to be here right now,
I hear a
eh?
fight breaking out. They're trying to bring down Export. He'll get off the Demonic Virgil though. And once again, the tree is there with the LT. And surprise, surprise, Pango directly back in, gets off a nice LT. And he even interrupts the epicenter coming from the back line. They're going to pick up 2 pretty easily here. Rustro in trouble, realizes that he needs to get out, but he's got no options available to him. They should be able to bring down pretty easily. Pango catches him on the swashbuckle as well. So in the end, it's 4 for nothing. It was their smoke. Only Revoker survives. And he didn't go for the BKB, he's going for the Ags. So still really unable to fight here.
I guess he feels that even if he gets BKB, it doesn't really matter that much because they already have the overgrowth from Bob Yules. The Pangolier has a Basher available, and because there's a Blink Dagger available from the Sven as well as Rubik have shown time and time again how quickly they can just come out of nowhere and stun you. They've been doing that successfully to the Lifestealer, let alone the Queen of Pain who has to activate BKB still. So maybe that decision is like, it doesn't seem to make a difference whether or not we have magic immunity. But it doesn't seem to make a difference whether or not we have damage either. As we're losing now the tier 3 towers. They're going to try to go for a Hail Mary play. The Infest into Revoker. No Sonic Wave. There's no Epicenter. There's Mass Serpent ones, sure. But they've only seen the Mass Serpent ones in this game used twice. And both times they've been used defensively. Never once on the other side of the map.
Look on the back line here. They're going to go in, but they get caught up by the overgrowth. And of course, Dog just happy to lap this up. Just cleaving his way through everyone. And although Oaks are loving it as low, they can't even finish him off. You're gonna lose the racks because, well, some heroes didn't even bother fighting. They just decide they'll focus their attention to the racks. Lifestealer buys back, but to what end?
Yeah, this game's over.
This game is very done. GG called.
Very, very over. 27k gold lead. Chelsea at least. Oh, I won't even die before the game ends. Yo, most of this win was off the back of an incredible performance in the mid lane by Filthy Frank. Queen of Pain was supposed to be their tempo setter. They were clearly expecting to have her matched up versus the Pangolier. I personally was expecting that. Did not see the Rubik coming. And Filthy Frank, woo! Man, they tore it up. They tore it up. They made this Queen of Pain have such a slow game in terms of her progression. Blink Dagger also ended up coming out super late. I'm not entirely sure I am a fan of this early Veil of Discord build. 200 more gold and you have a Blink Dagger? I don't know about this one, eh? I kind of feel like that was also a game-losing item pick to pick that up. And when did he get it? Let's see. It 11 minutes Veil. Like, imagine if he had Blink Dagger at the same moment in time. It would have been really... And I think you could, especially can't afford to go Veil in a game where Queen of Pain has had such a rough time. It is 100% up to you to try and create the space to bring everybody back into a winning situation. So it just goes south. And Luckers from Twilight really just show their quality. Yo, Rubik... Filthy Frank, what a god, what a player.
Ouch. Well, let's go game 2.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to game number 2 here in the VS Gaming Premier League. And we have ourselves the Luckers from Twilight taking on Spartan Esports. Game 1 was, let's just say it was a rough one. One of those games where there's no point downloading the replay. Well, there might be a little bit of a point, but it's immediately afterwards, you're just like, GG, go next. GG re, let's go. So here we are, the re has underfoot. Game number 2 between these two sides. Spartan Esports on the Radiant once again, and we have the dire side being played by the Luckers from Twilight. And Mr. Halberd, first pick Warlock. Oh my god.
I'm happy about this actually. I really enjoy Warlock. I spoke about the last time we saw him picked up, but the Fatal Bonds is so good. Such a good spell. What a winning spell.
Oh my goodness. Fatal Bonds, Upheaval, Shadow Word, Chaotic Offering. There's almost no spell that I can think of from Warlock that has no legitimate and great application in the game of Dota right now. Almost everything this hero does turns to gold, so kind of feels like they already have their work cut out for them. They at least do Van this Fen though. I like how Spartan Esports help make that adjustment. But I want to actually see what Luckers are going to do about this, because I also feel like as much as they're going to be happy they won that game, they also don't really get much out of it. Games like that, you're just like, guys, we had this one winning combination in the mid lane. It worked really well. Allowed us to snowball the entire game. So, you know, can't really try and think about what went 100% right in the draft. We had a great counter pick. It worked. Let's see what happens in the next game.
Yeah. Well, Jakiro picked up here. That's interesting to me. When last did I see Jakiro? When last did you see Jakiro?
Last week.
Oh.
I see Jakiro fairly often, yeah. I actually like Jakiro. I feel like Jakiro is a pretty great hero. It's somewhat risky to pick this hero when you still have to contend with the Rubik potentially coming out. I would not be surprised if immediately we saw the Luckers from Twilight snap up the Rubik. But it gives you some sort of push. Yeah, they have to. Spartan had to. They probably realized that if they don't pick Rubik, it's going to get picked against them. Or maybe not, because the Luckers insta-picked the Sniper.
Yeah, that was very quick. So either that was a case of we were taking this Rubik or Sniper. Or just they were picking Sniper. One of the two things out there. But I quite like the Rubik. Warlock does have great spells. And Rubik being a hero that likes great spells, he's got a couple there that he would be happy to take from the Warlock. I also think Assassinate's pretty good on Rubik. Like, it's one of those weird things that actually tends to be pretty handy with when you can pick it up. Nice Disable as well. It's still a good pick for Spartan. Can they do the same thing? Time will tell.
Time will tell. We'll see what actually ends up happening here. I do like the fact that they have on the side of, or rather, the one thing that I do like about Luckers is they haven't revealed their support duo yet. And Spartan, I think that's probably why they also went for the Rubik, taking away the potential for them to pick up this flexible hero that can go mid or into the support role. Now at least they know they have something that can steal spells. You can take Chaotic Offering as well. But more importantly, Upheaval is available for you. And don't you love this ban from Luckers? I like seeing this. Whenever I see a team pick Sniper, I would potentially like to see a Storm Spirit being banned out. It's kind of interesting that Spartan removed Nature's Prophet, because I feel like Nature's Prophet can somewhat also help against Sniper. But all they need is ways to get on top of Sniper. So I wouldn't be surprised if later on in the draft, Spartan either pick a hero like Ember or Spectre, or the Luckers decide to ban it out.
You know, I want to see a clock. I don't think it's going to happen. We just thought about things that get on top of ranged heroes. I like clockwork, but it's not going to happen.
Nah, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
Oh, Blinking Wraith King can do the job too. There's that.
I don't know. One of the main reasons that I'm also worried about like this Wraith King being picked up is we don't know what the other heroes are going to be from Luckers. So we don't know the utility of how often this Wraith King will be able to get off his spells. In particular, how hard it's going to be kited. I think Wraith King is one of these heroes that you can't really pick until you know what the enemy team's 2 supports are going to be. Because now they can just, let's say they pick Lion. What does Wraith King do in this situation? Oh,
He struggles. Although we did see a Wraith King win up against Lion recently, so there's that. Maybe it'll bode well.
Don't you find it interesting that they get the... I like MK because MK does this interesting thing where if you kill the Wraith King, right? So what you do is you kill Wraith King. If he's about to reincarnate, you drop the Wukongs of command right around his reincarnation. Then sure, you get slowed down massively, but there's no way the enemy team can actually rush you and fight you around the reincarnation. So it's sort of this weird counter to the Wraith King ultimate. I really like this pick. And as well, they're playing
Yeah,
Monkey
it's
King
like a
with
soft
Warlock.
counter, right? It's actually, I don't know, maybe like a medium counter. It's not like a hard counter, like you just remove his mana so you can't reincarnate. But
Yeah.
it does make life a lot more challenging if you can bring him down by himself.
And Wraith King can very rarely kill Monkey King by himself. Having to, like, if Boundless Strike is still in play, for the most part, Wraith King won't be able to burst you from 100 to 0 in the duration of the Wraithfire Blast and the subsequent hits. So you should be able to, more or less, able to get off all your HP. And there's still Warlock, because now the team fight is insane, right? Warlock with Monkey King, dude. Upheaval Warlock with the MK Wukong's Command, or Wukong's Chaotic Offering. Like, their team fight just got a whole lot better with this.
Let's see, banned so far. Naga Siren also banned out as well to disrupt the dogs here. I don't want to chat too much about that, but interesting that the dogs was banned by Spartan. I actually feel like they could have used it. Actually, it was pretty nice with them. They have the Jakiro Ice Path that goes very nicely with it. Potentially steal something like the Golems on top of that, or even Fatal Bonds. There were some nice spells actually to coincide with a good vacuum. So I'm a little bit surprised they banned it out, but they do pick up the Bat Rider now, so a little bit more control for them, or something that hypothetically, if they can get on top of the sniper, does create a cause for concern. Think we might see the Abaddon come out here from Twilight Luckers?
Not sure they need it. Because I kind of feel like if you pick a Baron, you already have a hero like Warlock that is healing up other people in the game. I feel like this is probably the part of the game where you want to grab a hero that initiates fights for you. You want to get the Sand King, you want to get the Earth Spirit style heroes, you want to get the Earthshaker. I actually want Earthshaker. Give me Earthshaker. Oh, look at you. Look at you. Look at Halbert being out here.
I agreed with your reasoning though, by the way. Warlock and Abaddon do fulfill a similar role in lane in the sense they can provide that that heal that just keeps people alive. So particularly something like the sniper gets gone on, you do have the defensive capability with the Warlock, but I'm a big fan of having a hard counter to a Bat Rider. It's something that I probably just distilled in me from bad experiences. But Abaddon is obviously one of those heroes that deals with them very well. I did want to say though that what they did have available to them was the opportunity to reinitiate or counter-initiate with the Golem anyway. So Bat Rider goes in, even if he's force staffing back, a lot of that gets disrupted by the Golem falling on top of his head, and of course anybody who's converging on that unit. So they actually have insane ways to deal with the Bat Rider. Okay.
Memes.
Hey, that's also a way to deal with a Bat Rider. Like, they just don't like Bat Rider, right? It's like, if you blink onto us, you're just going to blow up. So, yeah, that just happened. That just happened. Oh, okay, so I asked you about the Jakiro. When last did you cast a keys?
I think I've only cast a single techies in my life. This is when you need to call Jabba right now. You replace me. Get me out of this game, man. I don't want to be here right now.
Jabba he'll tell you the inner workings of the tech master.
Right?
Yeah, I hope there's an Arcana at least attached to this. I want to see an Arcana come out in the techies, otherwise I'm going to be very upset. Brewmaster, wrap things up for Spartan Esports. Perhaps we just... Is that a mid-techie? Okay.
I don't even know what's happening. I can't even tell you, right? I can't even pretend to know what this is. To know what kind of strategy this is just memes. This is like, guys, we can beat you doing whatever the hell we want. Oh my god. Okay. Oh my god. Last pick techies. The lane. Who's he gonna be laning against? Like, is this techies versus Brewmaster in the mid lane? What is happening? What is going on? What kind of Dota is this?
Okay. Whew. This is gonna be a Dota game. That's what we're gonna see here. This is gonna be very interesting. Yeah. Good. Dota. Stuff is happening. Let's do it. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to US Gaming, where techies is a thing again.
Where techies is a thing, where... Okay, it might not be mid techies because they do have a sniper in the game, so I would much rather see sniper going mid than techies. You know, that hero does so well with levels, you want to get him as many as possible. That being said, techies also does really well with levels. I don't even know, man. I don't even know. I'm just upset that Filthy Frank has dragged me into this. You know, he knew I was casting this game. Why did you drag me into this nonsense, man? Come on, bro. Come on.
But
But
he just
why?
wants to give something to the fans. wants the fans to see the games.
You see, situations like this with the fans. If the fans want this kind of Dota, then the fans don't deserve it. The fans are the problem then. There is one thing that I do really like about their draft on the side of Spartan though, is we've been talking a lot about how people just lack any real concrete ways to take fights very often. This game, that's not going to be that much of a problem. Revoker does have this Brewmaster. You just press R and you have automatic team fight. You are going to eventually have a Batrider with a Blink Dagger as well. And then you also have ways to drag people towards you. Got some nice D-push thanks to the macro pie from Mr. Speaker. And DWS can help you set up some pretty decent Ice Path stuns. Lift into the path. And they have Ra with the Wraith Fire Blast. This is actually a fairly aggressive tri-lane that they can run here. That can get quite a lot of kills. Now we'll see if they see this coming. But at the same time, they do have Abaddon and they have Warlock. All these kills, at least one run of the spells could get dodged by the Mistcoil or by the Aphotic Shield. And early on, between the Mistcoil as well as the Shadow Word.
Sorry, hold that thought. Gonna catch him up potentially here.
Nice fine, dude.
Didn't actually open with telekinesis. They got the hit off, but they opted not to it. So they really just want the El Runarino. Bot lane, there might be some action. Filthy Frank with his keys. Interestingly, by the way, he took Blast off level 1, so we won't see any shenanigans just yet. Lucker taking up that mid roll on the sniper this time, so they'll do a little bit of swap. What is happening here? Where are you guys going?
I don't even know, man. I don't even know what's going on right now. Unless they're going to be putting the techies mid, yeah, and then Chelsea's going to go bottom. I don't even know. I don't even know. Is this...
I think they scouted out what lanes they were up against, and they decided to do like a top and miss an entire creep wave, potentially, because this is real life.
Oh wait, no, this might explain something.
Okay, anyways.
Look at Bob Yules' build. Bob Yules wants to go for the very early arcade boots into Midas. So this might just be Filthy Frank playing support again. He does have a soul ring queued up. Top lane Monkey King is dead though. Oh, he's not. Nice mischief
they're
dodge.
going with a pretty good blast of actually might be the Great King Force first, and it is.
God.
Also loving it, gets the cross kill, and Mr. Speaker, it probably dies here as well. Really, man? Goes around the side. Can he finish the job? The support comes in from the Rubik. Range, but not enough to bring him down, and they should see... I was going to say they should see the death of the techies, but unfortunately the support came in from Oaks loving it, so they weren't too keen to dive underneath the tower there, but you know, okay, this is things. Rusto taking the safe lane Batrider here. Interesting. He's going to have a hard time against this lane. There's a lot of heal that he has to contend with, a lot of potential nuke as well. But it's just a new one, should probably say.
Fortunately, they can't actually kill him, so if he just plays if he just never uses Firefly and just keeps harassing them with the sticky napalm, he pretty much doesn't die here. Just trades farm against these two heroes. Gonna get harassed a lot by the Mistcoil and such, but not really too much you can do about that. This mid lane matchup, it does, I think, benefits Chelsea, especially as time goes on, but I don't think Revoker is gonna be under too much pressure of death. At least for the most part, just putting points in Drunken Brawler should allow you to stay safe. Oh, you actually... Oh my god, are they gonna kill him? No, he's not. He's fine. He's fine.
He is super low. He's taking a lot of pounding. He's having a very tough series at the moment. Top laner, they will find Rollyman. Probably no, he Fairy Fire's last moment survived through it. With Streaker, though, should be brought down instead. And is. So this tri-lane at the moment not working out for the side of Spartans, and they lost their Batrider in the safe lane as well.
What?
And they
How
might
did that
lose
happen?
DWS as well. It's taking a lot of damage from walking into 2 mines.
Oh my god. How did they lose Rustro? Like, what happened? Oh, he doesn't have boots. He didn't have boots. Oh my god. But still, even without boots, I'm not really sure how you get ran down in that situation. Export only has 1 point into the Shadow Word. They don't have any Curse of Avernus points. They might have just caught him out of position. I didn't see where exactly he died. I saw like his corpse was here, but I didn't see what happened, so that's kind of a problem. And no bright side though, at top, it does seem that Ra is out farming the Monkey King. And he's only died a single time. Does have an assist to his name as well. Lol.
Oh, actually, he actually misses the blast off there, so potentially a bit of a problem here for this Monkey King. He is being run down by Mosquito. He'll have another dual breath available to him. He's got to be careful he doesn't get too many stacks. Otherwise, things will turn around pretty poorly from Rollyman does return to the fray. But it's going to be the Panda who dies again. That's a solo kill. I'm trying to see exactly his positioning. Looks like he was literally killed on his side of the map. It's not like he was greedy for the kill. He's just being actually bested by the sniper.
Yeah. Chelsea got to level 4 before him. Had the double shrapnel. That's,
Top
I
lane.
don't
They're
know.
going to try to go back into this one. A lot of damage comes off DW's Rubik. He will manage to get this telekinesis off and survive the stun from the Monkey King. So really, man, okay.
He got really unlucky. He walked past the triple range creeps, and they lose Rostro because he gets dove underneath the tower. They don't. Again, how are they doing this? How are they making this happen? Batrider has higher movement speed than both Abaddon and Warlock. Has Firefly, has Napalms as well. Like, how do they keep catching Rostro?
Yeah, they're having a really hard time in these lanes. And once again, this is a tri lane that's trying to fight up these, but the techies actually just controlling this area. You can just see they keep getting into this position where they want to engage and they're walking over mines. So life has not been good for immediately plants one back in the spot they lost it. Speaker unable to do much about it. As you mentioned, I guess they're getting more farm this game, but I feel like you need more than that. And this Speaker takes one mine to the face. We'll try to finish off this techies. Should have blast off. We'll have blast off. We'll survive. Or rather get the deny off. And a beautiful engagement by Oaks of Loving. It does mean that he will in fact potentially pick up with the Speaker. Does he get the last hit off? He's trying to get help, but he does in fact get the last hit required. And Rog doesn't have a lot more to work with here. He can actually just get turned on, if I'm perfectly honest. He's not sure whether Jakiro is doing the Rubik is. So he's playing safe, but
Man,
right now,
if he had level 4 there and he had the one value point into the tree dance, would have been able to find the kill. You know, you jump onto the trees, primals bring down, somebody definitely will die. Unfortunately, that's not the case, but still finding himself an initial kill. And because Rollyman got the blast off, Filthy Frank denies himself, so no gold goes to the opposite team. Making really good use of
You gotta
this.
be careful. If you get tapped and assassinated, you're pretty much dead.
Oh my god.
And
So
he's very close to it.
Rostro dies again, third death of the Batrider. He did get a kill earlier on onto export, but unfortunately unable to keep that kind of pressure going. DWS might die at top.
Yeah, he's very low. We'll get Primal Sprung on this time, and it'll be Rody who finishes the job. This time he'll be brought down by Rog, so they don't at least get a cross kill here. I'm gonna try finish off this Monkey King. Does use Mischief to try and survive, and he might actually just walk this one off. Gets caught by the dual breath, but will these skeletons finish the job? I don't think they will. You'll be able to get to trying to activate and be A-okay. In fact, these skeletons give up the chase.
It's only level 2 dual breath.
They're okay with that.
So the damage wasn't there. Even though it did connect nicely on him, it just wasn't enough. So he ends up being able to walk away. The chosen one, he's fine. He's chilled. Under no stress, under no harm. I think one of the issues as well is that because of all the kills that have been happening at bottom, Rostro has no place to be on the map. So he's effectively been relegated to the jungle. And we see that Bob Yules is happy to take advantage of this. Just posting up in the lane right now, level 5. Second most CS in the game already on this offlane Abaddon. Doing even better than the Monkey King is doing at top. Of course, Monkey King is being pressured, but they're taking advantage of the fact that they're running a tri-lane from the side of Spartan Esports. And let's remember that if you're running a tri-lane, you're splitting experience 3 ways rather than 2. So there's less
they're going to try to
overall.
bring down this Monkey in the top lane. Gives a nice bounce strike. Also gets the support in from the techies, but beautiful techniques comes in.
Yes.
They have rotated this Warlock through though, but unable to really help out his core. So they will pick up an important kill there. So 4 for 9. It's something at the moment. My biggest concern still is the sniper mid though. If I can say this, he's being run down by Revoke at the moment, but he's going to have to pop his ultimate. He's actually popping it defensively. He's got nothing, and they consider rotating in the Abaddon. Revoker, oh, that's going to hurt. That's going to hurt. He's going to come out pretty squishy as well, so he probably has to back off from this one. Otherwise, Dog may just be able to drop a shrapnel in his head and finish the job, and he realizes he's starting to back off immediately.
He does have a salve though, so he should be okay. He's going to back off salve, he'll be fine. Bottom, Rostro did get hit with the Curse of Avernesses. So the potential is there that they almost ran him down, but he's still going to be fine. Again, my main worry right now.
Abaddon's pretty much immune now, because he's got his ultimate, so he'll be happy to fight into this, because the moment his ulti pops, well, I'll just run after you. And surprise, surprise, he's just running after him, although he is pretty low now. Pops the product shield, Rostro goes onto the other side of the river. He's still kind of burning him down though, still interested in this, but he's lost, well, pretty much all opportunity to kill him. But fortunately for him, on the other side we'll be able to TP away, so at least there's that. This has become tri-lane action in the top lane, so this should be fun. Export will bring some heals and some fatal bonds. They go in with the initiation on the techies. He just survives. He's caught on the tail on that dual breath. Could we have to kill him? They're trying to finish off this Rog Wraith King. We'll toss out the stun as well. Got a lot of skeletal millions on the Oaks are loving it Monkey King as well. So they're trying to finish the job. The techies might also find Oaks are loving it. The heal comes out at the last possible moment, but the skeletons are still chasing. And the tree form, as it were, going to be enough to survive and live on, export saving the day, but they did find the techies at the very least, and the Wraith King survived, if I'm not mistaken.
No, he died.
Okay, well...
Export had Shadowwood on him, so as much as he was running away, you know, it's one of those. That's one of the reasons why this hero is so absurdly strong. Mid lane, we see what you finally predict does indeed happen. One shrapnel drop down onto Revoker's head, an assassinate to follow that up with, and he is eliminated. But this is why this hero is so OP, man. Level 3 Shadowwood, he got it onto the Wraith King when he was at half HP. He knew it was going to take him down regardless. WK goes down there. Also at bottom, that play that Rostro made to try and take down Bob Yules. I actually think if Rostro didn't find himself having his mana, his HP rather, from the healing pot burst in the corner by the Aphotic Shield, might have been able to kill Bob Yules, but that's not what happens. So it slows him down even further, because now he has to go all the way back to base or shrine up in order to get the mana back he needs to farm. And this means that there's also one less place that Revoker can back off to if he feels like he's in trouble.
Committing a lot of time on just level 3 Rubik. That's 9 minutes and almost 10 minutes. Level 3 Rubik. That is that's challenging. They're going to try use the bat right behind this mid sniper, but it's a tough ask.
And they have a
There's no
warrior.
real way to initiate here. And in fact, yeah, they've spotted this all out. So they've wasted a bit of time here as well. And DWS is probably not enjoying his life right now. Once in level 3 at 10 minutes.
Oh my god, look at this. Look at this. Because of the fact his positioning with Russo. So Russo went and came around. He finds that Bob Yules is like, oh, okay, I'm already positioned for this bounty rune. But because he threw out the flame break onto Bob Yules, the Abaddon realizes that, wait a second, if Bat Rider is flame breaking from behind me, that means he's not in front of me, and that means we can get off the 3 bounty runes, and I can port mid and protect my sniper.
They're going to try go on the sniper, does Revoker, but he's in so much trouble now, actually. He tosses out what he can. He's in a difficult position. They're going to drop down the shrapnel on top of his head as well, trying to get a harm's way, but there's the assassinator. And this call is going to make sure that this is and a couple of tower shots for X. In fact, it was fortuitous that he went that way across. Oh, if he'd gone down the hill, he may have actually survived that. Top lane, though, we'll see the ultimate come out from Rarg. He's going to try to bring down the Monkey King. Does not have boundless strike. Will get stunned up in tree form. Jewel Breath also comes back to help out. Will finish the kill. This time, no Shadow Word. Save the day.
Yeah.
Picking up 2 as well as Techies also fell. Immediate TP going in. Where did that go? Saw TP.
Yeah, he was trying to go to
Bottom lane?
base. No, he's going home. He was fatal bonded on the Jakiro, so he needed to actually retreat from that one. While all this is happening though, Chelsea in the mid lane manages to claim the tier 1 tower. And he just ports away from Revoker, so there's no possible revenge. Goes home, picks up... This is the epitome of greed coming in here from Chelsea. Just goes in for the Midas. He's like, whatever. You know, I'm not being threatened at all. I haven't really taken any damage on my tier 1. Actually, none of these tier 1s have really taken that much damage. The top one has, but this is not too surprising given that this is a...
Find this kill onto Rarg. They will have the balance strike available to try to slow things down. He pops skeletons this time. No reincarnation available to him, so he's brought down pretty comfortably. And then DWS is not actually out of harm's way. They have this freaky, he's going to drop down the Jewel Breath. No Ice Bolt. I feel like Ice Bolt would have been pretty useful. He actually commits the LT. This is particularly good against Monkey if you get lucky. They're burning through a lot of the HP at the moment, but Export and friends are able to back off for the time being. They've got to be careful around these mines as well. Oak's Loving goes up into the high ground, could potentially Primal Spring, but opts against it.
Yeah, they just let that one go. They could potentially have chased forward, but they realize the amount of gold that we'd get from either of these support kills honestly is sort of meager. It's more important to be keeping the Monkey King alive right now. Now also look at bottom. Look what Bob Yules is doing. He's gonna now begin to bring down this tier 1 tower. Top lane, Chelsea just shows up underneath an observer wall to just pick off this Rubik. And there's not literally nowhere on the map where things are going well for the side of Spartan. Feels like it's all falling apart. Top lane is okay. It seems okay because of how much overall net worth Ra has. And he is eclipsing the Monkey King right now. But the primary issue is that the fighting ability of a Monkey King versus the fighting ability of a Wraith King. Even if that Wraith King has a little bit more gold, you need to be further ahead as the WK.
Bottom lane, they're trying to bring down this Abaddon, so Brown will have to pop the ult. He puts the shield on top of himself as well. It gets stolen.
Here comes Orlok. Here comes Orlok.
More damage available there. Can it finish the job? It should be able to do so. Did they? Oh, they got the Warlock ulti down actually, so he's actually doing a huge amount of damage. There could be some cross kills here. They've got the Assassinator already pegged up onto somebody. He's going to bring down the the Jakiro. Battery is still alive for the time being, goes on the sideline. Boker having to run back. These panelings have not felt effective. They've just controlled the fights so well that Revoker hasn't seen threatening top lane.
What?
Find a kill on the Wraith King instead, so...
Okay, so as soon as the... Now it was just the Monkey King and the techies. So they
I
recognize...
actually just think that was remote mines.
Was it remote mines? Lol, that would be hilarious.
Yeah, I see there was no assist to Folks are loving it. No blast off use. I think that was just remote mines.
Lol. Lol.
Could be wrong.
I mean, he is in the corner right here, so if he died in this position, it very much is likely that against the techies, it is certainly about those remote mines. And they made the correct move there. Like, they keep doing this on the side of Luckers. As soon as they recognize that a move is being made on the other side of the map, they try and get the punish. And this is what you need to be doing to be playing at high level of Dota.
They do the blink tag on reset. They're gonna find Dog. They're just gonna run him down 5 life now, buying a little bit of time. Does have that not have that lasso, excuse me. So it does have to be brought down the hard way.
Yes.
Important kill. He went there for the minus. This is also a little bit more punishing as well. Just before the 15-minute runs. So if they could potentially turn that into a couple of bounty runs, we'll reduce that deficit a little bit. But look at the techies. This is probably going to be up to no good.
No. This is one of the most obnoxious things in the world. It's like you just prevent them from being able to ever happily go for these runes. Just make it so complicated almost all the time. And bounty runes are spawning in about 10 seconds. Sniper back in 15. Let's see the move. We don't actually see Spartans setting up for these bounties. So they're going to let... What is happening? This is so much gold on the table. They're going to get 4 of them again.
Well, he knew exactly what he was doing. He actually finds the kill eventually. But did it cost him a chunk of his HP? And a D-ward as well, so... Techie's life.
The one bright spot though is that DWS does manage to secure the other bounty rune, so they don't end up losing all 4. They didn't even collect this one just yet though. Okay, what's happening? Maybe they're waiting for 50 Frank to go grab it. Or maybe it's a trap, because there's a stasis trap right there. But I don't know. I feel like just take the money, guys. Come on. These are bounty runes. Just take the money. Okay, Chosen One's like, I don't know what you guys are doing. I'm sure like the rest of the team is like, no, bro, let it like tick over for a while. But he's an old school Dota player. He's like, guys, there's money in the game. I'm getting it right now.
This is actually nightmarish as well, what this Techies is up to, by the way. Like, this is supposed to be your safe haven, and right now it's just a conglomerate of mines, which no one ever wants to go near ever again. Yep. They've already de-warded it, so Jakira probably is not too keen to spend money on a de-ward. In fact, he did, because he knew there was an observer up there, so he was fine with that. But it's not... Oh, hold on. We're going to find Rubik. DWS takes quite a bit of damage from the status trap combination. And really, does he want the blast off?
He wants it, but then DWS doesn't want to give him that opportunity. He understands what's happening, and the Rubik is going to back himself away. He will be caught moving this way thanks to this observer ward. Lol, stasis trap does get triggered now.
Well, they're trying to find some kind of damage. Top lane Revoker is trying to start a fight here, but he's not able to find the targets he wants. There's an Abaddon flying there. That is actually quite handy if you think about what Revoker is capable of doing to the Abaddon's game, but he hasn't had the performance that he would like. He hasn't been able to have the impact he would like.
Yeah.
Did you get the tower, though?
They do get the tower. They get the tower, they get out. They might be able to even catch Chelsea down here at bottom.
Oh, he's just going to TP out of this. Oh, that is frustration at its worst. He also took the reincarnation, and it was before the level 12, so it's another 180 seconds before he can use that spell again.
That was a huge mistake coming in from Revoker, actually. Because Revoker was the one that ported first to the shrine, and then Batrider followed him. And as a result of that, did you see how long the Batrider's TP took? He was delayed by at least an additional 1.5 seconds. If it was Batrider that ported first, and was able to close the gap onto the sniper, definite lasso, definite kill onto Chelsea, but... they sort of messed that one up. And they might get keys though.
Rubik is probably dead here. Yeah. So he doesn't even get the kill, and this is potentially just going to be a blast off kill. Dropping the Magpie. Trying to find the kill at techies and
still alive,
get
dude.
nothing. You can't go here actually, because it's not as simple as just killing the mines. Especially when there's a hero you have to deal with as well, because he can always just get blasted off on top of.
And he's actually going to waste all of his... he's going to spend as much time here as possible. Like trying to force them to try and come kill him, because he knows... that he doesn't really have to worry about too much. If they go on him, cool, he just still has blast off ready to go. He might be forced to trigger it. Oh my god, he survived on 7 HP. And the carry techies will continue his spree. They get a kill as well onto the Jakiro on the other side of the map. And now they're going to start pushing at middle as a whole team. Suddenly the whole squad is here. They can make this push happen with the Maelstrom on Sniper and Echo Saber on the Monkey King. The one bright spot is that the Wraith King was at bottom, pushing out onto the tier 2 tower, did manage to put some damage onto the structure. But for the most part, He is a solitary bright spot in a room full of darkness. Still doesn't close in on the Radiance. And as the rest of the team continues to accelerate and accelerate, we almost have full Greaves for Bob Yult here on their batter. Before 20 minutes, we're going to have Greaves, a full Mjolnir on the Sniper, Echo Saber potentially with the Diffusal Blade, which is definitely what Chosen One should build in this situation. He's going Radiance actually. Okay, I'm not sure I agree with Radiance actually.
Oh, they get the last 2 off onto somebody. It's just a Warlock, but they'll take what they can get at this point. Won't be able to get down the Golem either, which they possibly would have been keen to do because they didn't have the Monkey King available. He may have wanted to potentially get some kind of killer. Revoker charges up the high ground. Does not get eyes on the Monkey King though. He's waiting.
Somehow Revoker only has level 1
throw
ultimate.
Magpie there, man, and you get a free kill.
He doesn't know.
Do it somehow, magically. Stream share or something, I don't know.
He doesn't know. But they're going to try force them back.
Revoker going to drop some shuffle charges onto Revoker, or rather Dog is going to commit the Monkey King ulti as well. Revoker very, very low, does have the Primal Split, we'll have to use it now. They did also get down the Magpie, so it's a difficult position for them to fight into regardless. Revoker is actually just being beaten up. He's going to die.
Wow.
Oh, this is rough. Don't get the tower, being pushed back. Techies on the back line, what no good are you up to at the moment? This is just an area you'd never go anymore. This is not your area, doesn't belong to you, it's over.
I'm kind of surprised that Revoker chose to go in for that one though, because you can't actually fight as the Brewmaster into Wukong's command. Like all the different Wukongs hit all the different bears, so that was the epitome of greed coming in there from Revoker. Goes in, loses his life, and a Baron was there as well. Like I feel like once a Baron shows up too, yeah, you don't take this fight. But they did not manage to bring down the tier 2 as of yet, so this does still mean an opportunity for the side of Spartan to maybe hold on a little bit longer.
Can they find the Monkey King here? They got the wall down, so they know exactly where it is. Oh, just didn't have the timing.
I'm also not sure they have the damage.
Oh,
Even if they did have the damage.
Don't know what's above you. You don't know what else is coming from within Viz, so he gets a telekinesis off. Will buy himself a little bit of time. Proxy there, surviving on a dream, but eventually he was brought down by the balance strike. Not much in it. Dog in the backline's Lucas still doing a huge amount of damage to the Maelstrom as well now. Midas also just amplifying all those headshots as well. Evoker yet to complete his big dagger. They go in quite aggressive here with the Monkey King. Drop the Magpie, try to create a zoning ulti at the very least. See the last 2 coming up. He's being pulled back. Can they finish him off before he gets support? No, they cannot. There comes in the shield, there comes the miscoil. So, back up to full HP, retreats to his den. Right here, Techie's land. No one can follow up there, and they know it.
Oof. Radiance does eventually come out for the Wraith King, so Ra creating some kind of hope for his team. But the Radiance arrives at the same time as the Guardian Greaves on the other side of the map. And at the same time as the Hurricane Pike gets complete for Chelsea, setting on the Sniper right now. So it does kind of feel like we're at this point in the game where the Luckers from Twilight almost have to be feeding purposefully for them to lose a fight at this stage. Like, it just seems so simple. The easiest thing in the world for them to take fights. Doesn't seem like it's complicated at all. They don't even have to do... They don't even have to execute well. They just have to run at them, make sure a Photic Shield is used, and they win fights.
You also have to deal with this. Like, you cannot leave this because it just creates a zone of protection. You need to retake your land.
You can't.
Because right now, they're trying to. Finally, they do make the decision. But look at this nightmare that you're walking into at the moment. It's actually taking the entire team's efforts to try and resolve this issue that Techies has caused here. In that time, obviously, the rest of the map is going to be soaked up by Twilight Luckers. And they have their own map to play on. And look at just the HP lost.
Yeah. It's a lot of time spent that they could be doing something else. Also, I think for me, the big thing about what Filthy Frank did here is above and beyond simply blocking away access for them to get to their shrine, get to the secret shop, etc. You also block away access to the ancients. So there's no stacking that's available for the Wraith King. Severely gimps the amount of farm he's able to access. Of course, Sniper doesn't have the same issue. And they already got a stack for him. Look. It might even be farmed out by Chosen One. But either way, they still have the ability to farm these ancients. And Filthy Frank, having been kicked out of the other side of the map, he's like, well, okay. I guess there's some prime real estate at your bottom shrine as well. He might end up dying though, but they don't have any way to get on top of him. Like, raw smoke, but how do you touch him?
Well, he's got a lot of friends here as well, so Roy has to be very, very careful here. If he does have the level 2 reincarnation also, at the very least, it'll be a little bit quick if he does die. Here the last two going off. Who do they get? They got Lucker, the sniper. That's a big kill. Very important they get it. But on the other side of the map, whilst they're picking that one off, the fight still rages on over here. They're going to bring down Monkey King as well. This is looking very, very good at the moment. Can they find more export? Trying to belt out of dodge. Does have a little bit of support from Roddy, but it shouldn't be enough to save the day. Does have the strike field down, so it'll prevent him from dying at the very least. But 3 for nothing. Potentially a little bit more. Can they find Brown Boy? At the moment, just fighting against Techie's mines. Possibly could have got more out of the deal, but best case scenario perhaps there?
Yeah. Great opportunity there for them. They get a kill onto the sniper in the mid lane, simultaneously also getting a kill onto the Monkey King.
They're actually going off the Abaddon as well. He does have that ultimate. Will drop down the ice path, which is immediately cancelled by the Abaddon ultimate. They want more though. Resource actually charging off. This is a big mistake potentially. That Abaddon hits particularly hard under his own tower.
Yeah, you don't want to drive him underneath the tier 2, but this is also going to force back Bob Yolt. He can't actually stay here unless he is willing to die, and he takes the risk.
And this is, once again, these are very important kills.
That was a huge mistake.
Keep an eye on Techies as well. He's up to absolutely no good at the moment. Just creating, once again, this area that you do not want to fight into. And this time, they're probably completely unaware. In fact, I lied. They do have a ward. Should be seeing his shenanigans going down at the very least. As he also puts a little bit of pressure into this bottom lane. So they should get this tower. What was the cost of Rubik?
What cost?
Do they in fact get this tower? They do.
Okay, they do get out.
Let's just slightly miss time, but no one really wants a piece of this. So they're going to back off now. I think this is possibly the single best passage of play we've seen coming out from Spartans the entire series.
Yeah, that was pretty great play. And they also do the correct move, right? A lot of teams, when you see them being able to get kills onto enemy cores, you know, they're like, alright, okay, we can use the time to farm for the next item. Nope, it's crucially important to get the push going. But they might lose Ra.
So we've cursed them. They're going to catch out Ra here, probably. Balance Life will connect. They drop down everything. Leave my carry alone, says the speaker. You know what? Considering how things are going, I'm all down for this.
Yeah, they should just... That's the correct thing to do. Force them to say, guys, if you're going to come for Ra right now, you're definitely going to lose 1, potentially even 2 heroes to make this move happen. Especially considering that the Bob Buell's Abaddon is on the top side of the map. Can't really help anybody. So the correct move is made. They do get themselves back. And after claiming this tier 2 tower, they know that as long as they keep this lane being shoved back in the mid lane, they don't have to feel necessarily like they're always under the gun. They've actually more or less equalized the tower pressure on the entire map. The only thing that's different for them is they've taken a bit more damage on the tier 2 at bottom. But for the most part, it's exactly... Actually, they've done more damage to the tier 2 at bottom themselves. So the map doesn't look as bad as it could otherwise be. And given that eventually this Wraith King is... Okay, he also has Blink Dagger on Wraith King. So now they have more than one way to get into the fight. You are about to have level 18 on the Wraith King, which will mean he has Blink Dagger and Blade Mail, in fact. So once level 18 hits and he's no longer afraid of dying a single time, you know, can actually be active. I think the game can still turn. It's a 7k gold lead right now. But it's not like we haven't seen Wraith King be that one hero that makes it extremely difficult for the enemy team to actually win and delay long enough for others to catch up. The primary problem though is that he's the only damage dealer on his team. Revoker, no matter how much farm he manages to find, will always just be there for setup.
Does it... You're looking like close to Zags, like all things considered. It's quick. Gang attempt
God
here.
damn it.
They're going to find an important target. They can actually pull onto the low ground. Well, nope. Immediately pops the LT, so this could actually backfire pretty terribly. Rog, it's time to get up, but you're way too deep and they're looking for more. They're going to get the Warlock ulti, drop on top of them. They're Fatal Bombed up. They're going to get the ultimate from the Panda before he dies. On the back lines, a beautiful positioning from that ultimate from the Monkey King, just slicing off the positioning for them, and once it gets on top of their rating, Rog should be brought down here, and it's pretty easily in the end as well. Dog's still safe and sound. Monkey looking after him. They're going to re-engage her. Primal Split goes onto DWS. They're going to find him and should kill me. He does get force staffed away. A little bit of support coming from the back rider, but in the end, he goes down with a whole bunch of creeps as well. So 3 for nothing. Way too aggressive from Spartans. The moment that Apodic Shield was popped, or rather the Abaddon ulti was popped, they should have just backed off. That was a poor mistake.
Personally, for me, like, okay, my mouse fell, so I wasn't able to track the entire fight. But personally, for me, the moment that it became clear that you'd have to fight this far away and here uphill, that fight becomes immediately not worth taking. So they go for it though. And like you say, as soon as the Aphotic Shield comes, you can't actually get the kill onto Dog. And also, they dropped the Wukong's command and they kept fighting inside it. That's the second time we've seen that this time. Like, guys, when somebody calls Wukong's command, run away. Let it go, especially if that team is stronger than you.
If they had managed to walk out before the Wukong's command, or like during the Wukong's command even, that's actually kind of a win. Batroid trying to find something, he's just getting smashed to pot by Dog instead though. He says, you want a piece of me? I'll take a piece of you instead. Should find the kill, and Batroid does manage to do so. It's actually the Monkey King managed to find it instead. Already, the bottom here just setting up camp once again. It becomes so difficult to fight into techies. In some instances, we don't see techies very often. It's an incredible challenge because you don't quite know what's on the top of the hill. Can't have sentries everywhere. In fact, the
And you have Ags now, so
nerf to sentries probably makes them even worse.
no, and you also have Ags now, so even if you can have sentries everywhere, there's no guarantee that those sentries are actually scouting out everything. Could very easily be a minefield sign that prevents that from happening. So the game is incredibly difficult right now. It does kind of feel like on the side of Spartan that they don't really have any situations where they feel confident in being able to fight. It feels like they're just throwing everything to the wall and wanting to see what sticks. Doesn't feel like they necessarily are going in with a pure targeted plan. And they keep wanting to try and kill Chelsea, which makes sense. You want to try and bring down the sniper, but there's so much in front of him that you have to deal with. By the time sniper gets to even half HP, most of your team is already dead.
Additionally, if Brown Boy is there, if you do get that apodic shield onto that sniper, the fight's over. You're dedicating a lot. And we saw on the last side what actually happened was the Batroid just got caught up by a status trap, excuse me, and he just got deleted by the sniper himself. So it's a really tough ask to get on top of him. But I kind of agree with the sentiment is that you do actually have to find the sniper. You have to take him out the fight because he is able to do such an enormous amount of damage at the moment. He's got a full Mjolnir, he's got the Demon Age up as well. Almost okay. What? Two just blew up.
Oh,
Batrider.
Feels bad, man. Feels bad, man. Feels pretty bad. Alright, check this out though, right? So we do have a very important item that's arrived. Revoker grabs himself the Aghanim Scepter. So these Brewlings are way stronger. Unfortunately, he doesn't necessarily have level 20 just yet. He's fairly far away from that. So doesn't have the increased health to the Brewlings. But regardless, the utility in the middle of a fight is going to be drastically increased. In particular, I feel like the Cinder Brew is going to make a huge difference trying to deal with the Sniper. Giving the mischance over onto him, perhaps even to the Monkey King as well. Given that neither of them have chosen to go for BKB, can be very effective. And Dog has yet to actually finish the MKB. So if there's going to be a time for that to happen, it's going to be now.
Revoke it. Can they control him long enough? A lot of damage. We'll get the Primal Spell. If they're forced to do so, they can potentially just walk away. But no, instead they drop the Panda ulti and Revoke it. Solo, just get out of here. What are you thinking? Revoker brought down.
Mate, we've spoken about this. You can't. It's the hard counter. You know, we're speaking about medium and soft counters. Like, Brewmaster is hard counted. His split is hard counted by Wukong's command. You just can't do that. That just cannot happen.
I'm going to have to go into the start. They're going to pop the baby onto rock, so that's to be forced out early. Scanning the shrapnel, he wants to give Dog of Test his own medicine, but unfortunately for him, he's sitting behind an Abaddon who has an Aghanim Scepter. So,
Yep.
You like Miscoil? I will be Miscoil.
Abaddon with the Ags. Man, this is such a good Aghanim Scepter. It is so incredible. You already also have the MKB now arriving for the Sniper. Almost Ags for Monkey King as well. What did they give the Monkey King Ags?
But this is not going anywhere, because immediately standing next to the Abaddon. Going to trust a Southern Ice Path, that is pretty good. So they didn't manage to isolate the Abaddon, but he just pops his borrowed time. There's only a 30-second cooldown on it. 32, excuse me. So it's like he just resets. And unfortunately, Batrider's ulti, that's 70 seconds left, or 62 seconds left now. So, yeah.
Also, they bought Lotus Orb on the Warlock.
They're going to drop the backup down, try and delay the inevitable push here. But
all they can
strap on
do.
the high ground means that they can see everything that's going on. And we see that the Abaddon will go onto high ground, he gets pushed back, he's going to have that apodic shield up right now, so he doesn't care, still takes a lot of damage. We see the Yules come out, he also have the Lotus Orb on him, so they're both flying in the air. They aren't able to bring down the Abaddon though, and he will just reset, and guess what he's going to do? In 30 seconds time. This is like some kind of horror story. This is inevitable. This is Thanos at his best.
Push, ulti, heal, repeat. Push, ulti, heal, repeat. They're gonna go on to Dog.
They do try to change things up here as they send the Wraith King forward up against Dog, but fortunately for him,
Wow.
he's just being slowed down. Takes a lot of damage. Managed to get forced off the way, so he survives it. But guess what?
Just
That
wait.
ulti's up from the Abaddon.
Also-
Want, 2 guesses what's going to happen?
Also, let's take into account that the Warlock also picked up the Lotus Orb, so that means that there's not only more than one way to immediately dispel the lasso that comes out. Now, Wraithfire Blast is basically a danger to the Wraith King. Can't really... We saw that actually happening one of the times. They threw it out, immediately got Lotus back into his own face. Complicates life. And look at this push. You can't really go onto Bob Yules. Can't really get to the sniper on the backlines.
Aghanim's also up on the Monkey King as well, so...
Yep.
Even more things you don't want to jump into to bring down the tier 3 tower. Monkey King will survive the Magpie. It was an intelligent idea, but he didn't get off what he was trying to do. So Rog on the front line is trying to do whatever he can. This fight is split off though, and the Wu comes on down, just stopping anybody from helping out their Wraith King. He is completely isolated. Will toss out whatever he can. Does actually do quite a bit of damage to Export. He would desperately like to find something here, but the support comes in from the Abaddon. Rog did have that Blink Dagger available since he went the other way, but he's being charged after by the Monkey King. Didn't have the Primal Spirit available, so he opts just to run off them. There's an Invisibility Rune! Success!
Nice. He's got Boundless Strike, though. He's still gonna kill. Oh, he missed!
It's not Radiance, though. Oh, Rog, you're so lucky.
Nice. Nice. Doesn't matter, though. They're gonna get double
The
rexed.
base at home, that's falling. So even though the Wraith King survives, they just got completely isolated from him, and they were destroyed on the backlines. They desperately tried to get into the fight, but it's just a game of zoning right now.
Yeah, this game is over. Second laner Rax is gonna fall now. Not really gonna be difficult for them to take it down. They're gonna try for one last Hail Mary play though.
Yeah, they actually have a really great Ice Path, a really great Magpie, but it just does nothing. It absolutely does nothing, because in the middle of this all is a Abaddon who's just saying nope, 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 and they negate all the damage that was done. They're pretty much all firing strong. Rog is brought down this time, and they look for more. They want TWS. He's going to be picked away. Ido, he gets a little bit of help from Revoke. He has rejoined the fray. No ulti available to him, though, and no way he's getting through those mist coils. Not down again. Absolutely nothing they can do at this point. 27k down. GG is called, no surprise.
Yo. Devin, do you remember that game that we costed? I think it was Sinister 5 and GG. No, it wasn't GG because they still have to play. I think it was Sinister 5 and it might have been Team Salt. And there was a point in the game, it was some ridiculous gold lead, right? Wasn't it like 30,000 or something? And there was a point in the game where it was like, okay, despite this gold lead, this game is not as completely out of the contention of the enemy team. This, you know, because anything can happen in Dota. This is without a doubt the smallest gold lead that I've seen in a game that is genuinely insurmountable. Like, I legitimately, there was no path to victory. From about 7k up already, it felt like there was nothing that they could really do on the side of Spartan. Everything that they wanted to do was covered, right? Brewmaster, you can't do anything because there is a Wukong's command that gets casted, immediately eliminates all your Brewlings, you can't fight anymore. Batrider can't lasso because there is the Aphotic Shield and eventually the Lotus Orb that gets purchased. The Jakiro, all Jack was using Macro Pyre for was just to de-push creeps in the mid-wave, not really providing much value to your team there. The Rubik, the spells that you want to steal that could be useful here, one, you're never getting Chaotic Offering, but two, you're always too far away. You don't have Blink Dagger, you don't have Yules, you don't have Force Off, you just can't get there. And finally, this Wraith King, the Wraith King is the only one that, to be fair, had a decent game, but it was just too much. There's too much happening on the enemy side, and you can't deal damage. You jump in, you try to deal damage, but Battle's just like, no, that's not gonna happen. Warlock just says no. I mean, we barely, Export probably had the easiest game of his life. Didn't have to do anything, because Bobby was like, dude, I've got this. Everything you want to do, I can do. It's fine. Don't worry about it. We barely got to see upheavals. Any fight that started, you just fatal bonds, and the enemy team has to run away because of how much damage you deal. It was, you got completely outdrafted here, and it just fell apart really quickly. That was insane to watch, actually.
The scariest thing about it as well is that right at the end, when they do get the beautiful Magpie off into the beautiful Ice Path, and then
they dealt literally no damage.
Nope. I mean, it was crazy. It was just, he just healed everybody up back to full. They didn't lose any HP whatsoever. So, yeah.
Look at this heal.
I want to say this much though: Spartan are a fairly new side to this level of Dota, and they were playing some really strong opposition. So. I would say that in the long term, they still have a lot to build on here. I think you can tell that they're a little bit fresh at this level of Dota. So, hey, maybe in time they will be able to put up more of a fight against sides like Signs like these. But
Yeah.
anyways, I laugh because I stare at my screen as I say that, which is just ridiculous. Thanks guys. Thanks for that. Anyways, so
Well,
that's a wrap. Why don't you take us up?
Congrats, Luckers. 2-0 victory. Not really that much to say about the nature of this game. It just is what it is, man. Sometimes you get bodied, sometimes you get dumpstered. You know, Dota is not always the most fun, easy game in the world. But nevertheless, you didn't get yourself into the Premier League by just crying whenever you lost. You have to climb the ladder. So they definitely deserve to be here, you know. They deserve to find out how they can figure out how to stay here properly. But ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining us. That's going to be the series finished and the casting for the day concluded. This has been the VS Gaming Premier League with your boys, Snare and Halbert. Make sure to follow us on Twitter. You can see our nice handles there down below. And make sure to go visit the VS Gaming site, vsgaming.com. Is it .com or .co? I don't know. Just Google VS Gaming and you'll be able to figure it out. So ladies and gentlemen, that's us for now. Keep tuned to our Twitter and we'll be informing you of future games to come. But good night, go play some Dota, and we'll see you guys in the future. Bye bye.